A couple weeks ago, Memorial Day weekend, I was at Ohio. I was at Ohio to see our brother Phil Scott, our sister Vicky Dillard, and our sister Demetra Kay. Me and Miss Jackson went. All right. So we were there. We were listening to their speech. Of course, they had a very powerful and motivating and very informative lecture. Of course, all three of them. Shout out to them. Round of applause to them. Then I guess the whole like event or the producers or whatever the case may be, they put this guy from the NAACP onto the thing. So this guy from the NAACP goes on the thing and he starts talking. Now, at first, mind you, everything's filled up with foundational Black Americans. Okay. So at first people were like, I don't know about this. I don't know. So he gets up there. He says he's independent and he's leading his own chapter, which he wants to change and he wants to make different from how the other chapters have operated. For you guys who knows, there's like a head of the NAACP, like the top, I guess, nationwide chapter. And then under that, then you have I guess I'll start letting people up here now. Then you have individual chapters, right? Shout out to my brother KD. KD was also there too. All right. Got to meet him in person. That was hold on, Lester, brother. Okay. Where's BX now? Oh, come on now. Okay, there we go. So he starts talking and he says something about we should all come together and, build a coalition. I'm paraphrasing. Build a coalition. Phil asks, okay, well, coalition with who? This man says black and brown people. When I tell you, KD, can you testify? When I tell you the crowd went crazy.
Yeah,
the crowd went, it's not just me saying it. He's telling you that too. The crowd went crazy. I'm talking about they would not stop. It had like Vicky Dillard, Demetra Kay, and Phil had to kind of like, oh, okay, y'all, let's all settle down. Cause they was on them. They was like FBI. I was just like damn, they like was really like the damn near like throw tomatoes at this man. They was really like they was on his bumper the entire time. Now, Phil, he spared him a little bit. He spared him. He kind of gave him like a little, well, we'll give him some time to learn, and I get that. You got to be professional in these settings, okay? You don't want to come in and then bring a rambunctious crowd with you. Okay, so, and then there is the aspect of people do need time. There's a lot of people currently in the movement we're in who a few years ago, or not a few years ago, but maybe like 10, 15 years ago, they were a part of the NAACP or they believed in that. They believed in the Democrats and things of the sort, right? So, there's time. However, in the age we are in now, as far as delineation, what we're doing, uplifting the lineage, anybody who's on this type of time is too out of touch. Is way too out of touch, honestly. For someone his age, way too out of touch. And I'm telling you, he was arguing. He was quite literally trying to rationalize why this black and brown coalition needs to come together. Why it needs to be a thing. He was quite literally trying to rationalize like, no, you got to understand, because with the numbers, we'll have more power than the oppressors and all of that. And we had to let it be known that's not going to happen. They let a few people speak. I spoke. I got to get the clip from that, but they let a few people speak in public comment. They didn't let as much people speak as they should have, in my opinion, but it did go over time because of all of that. Then you saw, there's something interesting. Then you saw some people from a bunch of alumni or like fraternities and things like that. They would have like the Kappa Beta Kappa thing or those fraternities and stuff, they were getting like real sassy. They was getting all slick at the lip. They was over in the sidelines yelling and screaming, and you don't know him, and you don't know all the work he's done, and you don't know anything. They didn't want to. One dude, he came up there and was like, I don't want to have a conversation with y'all. Y'all mean. And that's just pretty much all he said. And Phil's like, okay, let's have a conversation. No, I don't want to have a conversation with y'all. Y'all too mean. And then he just walked off. I'm like, okay. Like it was a lot of that. And then some other heavy set dude was on over. Just stop talking to him like that. So that's your Divine Nine, y'all. And it's not a coincidence that the Divine Nine and the NAACP and the Democrat Party, they all work in tandem with each other, okay? One hand feeds the other. It's not a coincidence. Roland Martin is a part of that fraternity stuff. Kamal is a part of that fraternity stuff. Now, of course, they're tethers too, but I mean, that's just extra motivation. But they're all a part of that fraternity, sorority, Greek, Kappa, Gata, Alpha stuff. Okay? And this is the type of time they on. This is the type of time they on. But KD was there, and he could testify to what he saw.
Yep. I was basically standing front row, and the family was not feeling it at all. And you want to know what? It's so crazy. The moment the words left his lips, that face you make when you kind of like grit your teeth and you smile with the yeah. He's like, and they stopped eating him up for about. It was like a good 10 minutes. They wasn't trying to hear it. It was one brother. He came all the way down from Detroit with, I presume to be his wife. He was like, look, I ain't come down here to hear all that. I came down here to see Brother Phil. Ain't no black and brown. You know what I'm saying? So the delineation sentiment is very much so real. So for people who love to say that, it's just a TikTok movement, it's an online sensation, you know what I'm saying? Let them continue to believe that. Just let them continue to believe that. And as a quick sidebar, if y'all ain't know, Afro Elite tall as hell. I ain't think he was short. I ain't think he was short enough, but he like a smooth 6'1". You about 6'1", Afro? Yeah. But yeah, man, man, it was a pleasure meeting the brother in person. And you said you need that clip. I got that for you too, bro. I'm gonna be sure to send that to you.
Okay, appreciate that. Yeah, if you can send that to me, because I don't know what was going on. I was waiting on Phil to like show that, but I don't know if there was like a technical issue or something like that. But he only released this part, so I'm like, okay, well, I guess we gotta make do with what we have. So if you have that, I'd appreciate that.
I got you.
All right.
I missed it. How long will I say Afro? Are you going live right now? Yes, BX. I had enough time to go get a little screen recording of another live and send a couple of text messages too. And then I said, let me come back. And then I just got the notification. I said, look at Afro. And you up in here just talking away. You wasn't thinking about sending a live to me, Afro.
No, I did send a live. She does this every time too. I sent the live. I did send the live. I did. So
you did. Okay. But when?
And every time she come in late, she blame me. She get mad at me every time she come in late. She set up to get mad at me. Okay.
I fell into a live where they're dropping our people. You know how you mod some ops against, they say you would mod some people who had something against us, and then the mods start going at each other. So I was watching our people and some who are against our people just dropping each other. I was like, dang, let me get back here and see if Afro live. Because he did take a little long, y'all. He did. And he was live, and I came in, and they all chummy and talking about the event and stuff. So this is the event in Ohio, just so we're all clear, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and this is the one where NAACP said black and brown when Phil said who need to come together or something. Oh, KD, you win?
Yeah,
that's cool. That's right. I love to see it. Love to hear it. Thank you to Phil and the ladies on the panel. I don't know if the NAACP guy is new. He probably could have been testing the waters. Let's see how these Black Americans are going to take to a Black and brown type of coalition. They got to know we're unhappy with these four coalitions. And it's 5:55. That's 5:55 angel time, y'all. So I just want to say this. We're tired of the Black and brown being told to us, but there's no Black and brown exhibited from that community. I always say individual, yeah, just got to know collectively they're not for our people. They'll only say Black and brown when they need something from us. But even when something we're going through doesn't affect that community, here we are with the brown all in our mouth. Black and brown people, Black and brown people, Black and brown people. And that's not the case. They're not subjugated like us. We got to do the research, y'all. You'll see.
Mhm.
We're not
I
subject.
think
They're not
let me
subjugated
add
like
to
us.
that. I think it was Dr. Claude Anderson who said this. I think it was. He said a lot of people use Black and he said minority. I don't think he said brown, but I think he said other minorities because they're too scared to say the word Black and leave it at that. Okay, so they have to dilute it with something else because there's like a taboo of just saying Black because Black is just like Black, I don't know. And you got a Black and other people too is like coffee that's too strong and you need some type of creamer or something like that. It was Dr. Claude Anderson who said it. Okay, yeah. I was pretty sure it was, but there was a slight chance it might have been somebody else. But yeah, people are scared to just say Black. They feel like that's gonna turn people off or that's gonna cancel out or something some allies, or not that we have any, but that's gonna get rid of some allies, they were saying. So no. And that's what's powerful, just saying Black and then leaving it at that, because that stops the expectation. People expect you to water it down. People don't expect you to be very bold and unapologetic about your Blackness, period. People expect, well, Black, but I gotta do this because I don't want to seem like the radical. So let me say Black and people of color, to kind of be more palatable to the dominant society, which is what I said when I was there.
You know why I don't get it? So now we see what are influential Hispanic leaders, right?
Mm-hmm.
They get up there unapologetically in their Hispanic community, the Latino. That sounds like a MLK voice. Sorry, y'all. They get up there and they talk about the Hispanic community, the Latino community. They talk about the hardships they had. They never mention the word Black unless it's AOC trying to pander to us after she tried to tether on her community for reparations and realized we weren't going with her, right? So, and also being from New York, I understand the first time that I noticed in the South Bronx a bilingual required sign going up, that was around 1997, y'all. I do know, and I mentioned that yesterday, that they had to hire certain Spanish speakers before hiring any of the demographic. I may have been a little off, and it may have been just our local government. Because I know who I know, and I try to get jobs in certain sectors, I do have certain connections, and I could tell they don't understand why I may be locked out or say certain things, right? And this is how I know that for city jobs, for certain positions, they do have to hire a certain requirement of Spanish speaking people. And that's horrible to me because these people didn't build New York. They literally didn't, but we conform so much to them that now they are requiring certain amount of Spanish speakers. They're also doing a lot of things, getting things just for them. And they never say Black and brown or brown and Black. They never say Latino and Black people. Historically, Black towns are now, one of them mentioned brown people today. And I said, don't you mention, I told them, re-put the answer. Don't put African American. And don't mention Latinos. We're talking about historically Black communities. You literally have to tell ChatGPT that, but these demographics aren't speaking for us. And in matters and positions and sectors that account the most. Why do we have to keep carrying them?
We shouldn't, but they need us to. They need us
Right.
to.
So yeah, I'm happy that Phil, so and the crowd, because I saw their face. Vicky, I see Vicky, Demetra. I just got turned on to her. I'm glad the people there and you and KD were able to tell them, nah,
Oh
no
yeah.
ground this time around. Yeah, great job, guys. That's what I
Yeah.
want to say. I land.
Cool.
Thank you.
All right, EJ, talk to us, EJ.
How you doing, man? He know he violated once he put the NAACP sweater on, and once he said black and brown, they just started throwing rotten tomatoes at the dude, man. I don't know him from a can of paint, but I'm not going to keep making excuses for Negroes that know better when they talk this black and brown, know or listen when it comes to our community. Why do we have to always align ourselves with these groups of people that has a history? These people have a history of HATing our group, our people, when it comes to them trying to form these fake alliances, trying to let us do all the work, then they get all the benefits. So whoever this brother is, wink wink with quotation marks, I don't know where his lineage is from, man, but he knew better than to say that. And I wish that somebody would have said something about it instead of the crowd just getting up there and booing. I would have did the same thing though, but this just goes to show you that not all skin folk are kinfolk, and this is the same BS that we hear always when it comes to these, divine nine, these, college fraternities. They want to align with everybody, but they already know that we got enough people within our lineage that can get on code to make a change. So we don't even need no alliances with these other groups of people. How you gonna talk about a black and brown coalition when these people can't even get on point with the melanated people within their lineage? So how you think they're gonna make something different over here with us? Because we always had a history of these people being sideways and wishy-washy. It's just the same BS and the same crap that I hear all the time from these folks. I don't trust this dude. It seems like he just trying to keep the status quo, the whole DNC, plantation with his talking points. Once he said black and brown, it was over with. I don't trust this dude, and if he can prove me wrong and say something lineage based and don't be talking about these other groups of people, when we are in a catastrophic emergency, we need tangibles. And you talking about this BS like these other groups of people been talking about for decades. And I wanted to bring up Dora the Explorer, AOC. They talk that same crap too when they need our votes and stuff. So I don't trust her, and I definitely don't trust this suspected double agent. I'm gonna be nice today because it's the Lord's Day, and hopefully nobody don't come in here eating biscuit crumbs and buck dancing with their kneecaps being ashy. But with that being said, I'm gonna land my plane for now.
Yeah, appreciate that, EJ. Appreciate you. Yeah. Candy, how you doing, sister?
Hey, how you doing, sweetie? Okay, so again, I didn't like his delivery. I didn't like anything about it. So I'm watching Philip Scott look at his face, and you see Vicky Dillard sitting next to him, and she like, oh, brother, here we go. And then you see Demetra K on the end, the one that turned and looked, and her face said it all. We speak to each other without words, right? So you look at that, and then you see the fact that his facial expression, y'all see how he was like his whole body language, his head, his facial expressions, like he was like, oh well, like I said it. Did you see that? He kind of had that same energy Kamala had when she said, I'm not going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. He had that same energy. So but Dr. Claude Anderson told us he strongly opposes open immigration, right? He said, so what is happening is Dr. Anderson highlight that multiple generations of immigrants have been fast-tracked into full citizenship and wealth accumulation, while Native blacks remain a permanent economic underclass. Okay, so right now what you see is he states that both major political parties patronize Native black Americans while offering preferential economic treatment, resources, and social integration to newly arriving immigrants. What is happening is they are purposely inserting them, letting us know that in a minute, they're like, we're going to put them in place and we're going to remove you guys. Once upon a time, the NAACP was supposed to be for us, but that's not what happened. They eventually started swaying away with the Democrat Party because I guess they kind of attach our blackness to the Democrats. And now the NAACP is leaning towards, a lot of that immigration and stuff with the black and brown, people of color. And what's happening is we're not getting any representation. So what it's looking like is the NAACP, like we said before, needs to be canceled. And we need to just stop even accepting any of these groups as ours anymore. They're not. It's just, It's just a fraud organization, and they want black support to keep it going while they help other groups. So we just need to let the NAACP go and stop playing with them and let the Democrats know, hey, if you don't have anything specific for us that we can talk about, like tangibles, and you cut the check before November for foundational black Americans, we are not voting for you. We are black first, and we are not playing that with them. And I land.
Appreciate you. Thank you very much. Yeah, that's true. Mike, you got it. Mike, you can go ahead.
Yeah, sorry about that. So, um, about the Black and Brown Coalition, I believe that the Black and Brown Coalition for the Black American community would be an absolute disaster. And I say that because I want to make a slight detour, and I want to make a reference to recent history. In 2014, there was a police officer by the name of Peter Liang, and he was Chinese, and he unalived a BLK man called Akai Gurley in one of the stairwells, and he led him to bleed out. And now they were going to prosecute him, and they were going to put him down for 15 years. I don't know if it was going to be an involuntary manslaughter or a voluntary manslaughter charge. And the entire Chinese community came out to his assistance. It wasn't just Chinese people; it was Japanese people, Korean people, Pacific Islander people who, look like they're from China originally. They all came out and supported him, and the contempt that they had for BLK life for me was like extremely shocking, to say the least. And I was thinking to myself, if you were to analyze the Arab American community or the East Indian American community or the Latino community, they probably have that kind of a mindset. So I really sincerely don't think in a million years it would be a good idea for the Black American community to have any coalitions with them. And just one more thing before I land my plane, sir, if you allow me. Akai Gurley, incidentally, he was not of the Black American lineage. He was an immigrant. However, the BLK American people came out in force in order to demonstrate against the injustice. So I just wanted to put that out there. Thanks for giving me the opportunity. Once again, bad idea for the Black Americans to have any coalition with the Brown or Arab and the East Indian, etc.
Thank you. And that's an interesting point that you brought up, that Akai Gurley was an FBA. Kai Gurley was, I forgot I know he wasn't FBA, but I forget what he
Virgin
was.
Islander.
He was a virgin. Oh, thank you. Okay. And that just goes to show how much we did, how much we rode for everybody. That goes to show, it debunks the narrative that, Black Americans were always xenophobic from day one and they never liked immigrants ever, ever, ever. No, we rode. We rode for Akai Gurley. We also rode for Botham John. All right. And the thing is that we have rode for everybody. Asians, okay? We were there protesting when Asians or Japanese people in specific, so they can get their reparations and helping them out, helping Hispanics, helping Native American tribes and all that stuff. The buck stops when we realize that all of this is not being reciprocated at all. And as a matter of fact, that we're faced with hostility from these other groups of people in return to our generosity and our protection and our provision and all of that. So once we realize that, y'all being hostile, first off, ungrateful, and then y'all being hostile, okay, we're going to switch stuff up now. Now we got to change stuff around now. Okay, all right, that's what y'all want, fine, okay, fine. Then we're going to switch stuff around. But I think that is important to note that. That is important. I also want to add, when it comes to the Black and Brown Coalition, right, they like to use the numbers, and more numbers mean more power. On paper, makes sense. In practice, it only works if both groups have the same agenda. and are in mutual agreement on that agenda. Okay, that is the only way that works. If one group has one agenda and another group has a totally different agenda, you cannot have a coalition with that. That's like having a coalition with water and oil. You can't have that. All right. We've tried and we've pushed to have this black and brown coalition, and brown people said the Negro problem ain't my problem. I ain't got nothing to do with that. Okay. Brown people, when I say brown, I mean Hispanics, and a lot of these Hispanics ain't even really brown, if we're going to be honest, but who they deem as brown people have shown incredible continuous hostility towards foundational black Americans. And we can't ignore that. When they talk about the black and brown coalition, they say that as if this is going to be a 50-50 thing. And I said, NAACP, y'all not even 50-50 with a black and brown thing. Because y'all will put brown interests over black interest. Y'all not even halfway trying to be fair and give everybody their own spotlight. The spotlight is totally on the brown folk. Okay? Remember the NAACP? Remember that situation that happened in San Francisco with the proposals in California? And the San Francisco chapter of the NAACP said that they are opposed to cash payment reparations. Have they ever opposed anything when it comes to illegal immigrants? Ever? Does anybody ever remember them opposing any type of benefit, subsidy, handout, anything like that when it comes to them? No. No, they don't do that. But they do it for us. All right? When you have a coalition, what happens in not black and brown, people of color, minority, buopta bam, what will happen is their interests will slowly start to overshadow our interests. Them being quote unquote so important, that will start to overshadow our interests. And I said this in the clip when I get it. KD has it, so he'll send it to me soon. That's what Biden said. Remember Biden was all like, hey, y'all gonna have to start getting in line with Hispanics because they bigger than y'all. That's what we get told. Hispanics don't get told y'all need to follow black people because it's their time now. That's not what we get told. We get told now it's the time for immigrants. Immigrants are the main subject right now. Hispanics are the main subject right now. So whatever is most important for them, that's what comes first. And then we'll get to you if we have time. That's what we get when we get in coalitions with folk. Okay? So, no. Candy, I know you wanted to add something.
Yeah, and this is the same NAACP, and I just want to say you were cooking, brother, but this is the same NAACP that did the Out of Bounds campaign asking our black athletes to boycott public universities in southern states over voting rights and redistricting. This is the same ones, and then in the next breath, a few days later, y'all talking about, oh, we gotta worry about black and brown. Do you understand how disrespectful that is? You asked them to give up a lifetime opportunity, and then you turn around and talk about another group at a black event. They're always being disrespectful, and I land there.
Mm-hmm. That's true. That's true. You know, and they're not even doing it. All the boycotting and all that stuff. That's not for their interest, and they won't help them. That's so Democrats can keep their seats that they haven't earned. All right, EJ, I know you wanted to add something. Then we'll get to Detroit.
I'll say this: you don't never hear LULAC talking about we want to form alliances with their own melanated groups of people within their homeland. So why the hell is this Negro on stage talking about black and brown coalition? Now I'm glad that you went up there and you handled your business and held it down for the lineage, because if it was me, I would have gave him my mind and would have gave him the business so bad that they would have probably had to escort me out of the panel or whatever they had, because I'm tired of hearing these folks talk this BS. They don't say this stuff with these other groups of people, and technology is not brand new. This is not the early 2000s. This is not the 90s with the AOL dial-up broadband connection with your screen looking black and white tee. This dude know what the hell he's doing, and I don't trust these folks. And the NAACP need to be dismantled. They do not represent black Americans, let alone even themselves when they come up here talking stupid. These people are ran and controlled by Democratic or Republican paymasters. They'll say anything for $1. They will do anything for a biscuit crumb. And this dude right here getting mad at the audience for their disdain for the stuff that we've been hearing from these people for decades, but you want us to just sit back and relax and not say nothing. If you hear something wrong come out of somebody's mouth, us as Black Americans, we gonna say something about it. We ain't gonna let no injustice go unattended. These people right here want to keep the status quo. I don't trust this Negro, and hopefully he don't get up nowhere and speak like this again without the family giving him the business, because we need to give these people a message that this stuff is over with, man. We want to see something better within our country, and we want to see these people go home and handle their own business. He ain't talking to these Hispanics. I dare him to go out there and talk about Asians like, you Asians need to get together with the Black folks since they like kung fu movies and eat Chinese food. They ain't gonna say that to those folks, but they want to act like kindergartners when it comes to us. But yeah, that's all I have to say for now. I'm gonna land my plane.
Yep. Yep. Real talk. Real talk. That's true. Detroit, you got it, brother. What it do? What up, though?
Alpha?
That's what it is. What up, though? Okay.
What up, though? Hey, listen, man. You know what I'm saying? When it comes down to us, I feel like we need to keep the primary focus as the man-made supremacy. Like that, tackling that is and should be the primary focus for Black Americans, because that's what's keeping us down. I feel like we need to stop letting BS slide that we let slide. I'm just speaking on us. You know what I'm saying? Because if we have no allies, then we need to do better by each other. I feel like the California gang culture becoming like somewhat nationwide or worldwide, and the evil that it does as far as minusing numbers from the Black American population. I feel like that needs to be canceled. I feel like that's like the number one supporter of the man-made supremacy. And as far as immigrants go, I feel like we don't need to let our feelings about immigrants overshadow the fact that these people who are passing these laws, these unjust laws, for the sake of empowerment of man-made supremacy, we don't need to overlook that, because they're trying to do away with that 14th Amendment birthright. And we all know that's just to keep their numbers where they are so that they can dominate. With us only making up 13.5% of the population, I don't feel like that works in our favor. So we got to be careful of what we let slide under the radar while they blind us, because the biggest trick that the rich mayonnaise man ever pulled on the poor mayonnaise man was making him feel equal because of the color of his skin. He gave him a pew-pew and told him to stand in the sun, and he was ignoring the fact that he was outside all day watching slaves. You see what I'm saying? Because the rich one made him feel special. He made him feel equal just because he told him to watch slaves. He overlooked the fact that he was standing in the sun with a gun. And that's exactly what Donald Trump, that's exactly what all these man-made supremacist supporters who are passing these bias laws, and that's exactly what the abolishment of the 14th Amendment would be doing.
Okay.
It's upholding and empowering the man-made supremacy.
Okay. Well, let me respond to what you had to say, and I agree with a lot. As far as the gang activity, and I don't even know if we can say that here, so I'm just gonna say the G group, if that makes sense, activity. That's not. It's a problem. It is a problem, but that's not nearly as predominant of an issue as it used to be. That activity in and of itself is starting to kind of fade away. Like, you don't really see as much of that type of activity now that you used to like 30, 40 years ago. In LA, like when they talk about the Bloods and the Crips and all that stuff, that's not nearly as like a nationwide epidemic as maybe the news would portray it as. I'm not saying that it's okay anywhere, but I want us to have a realistic view of that, because that's not the issue in Chicago. And even as far as that type of activity in Chicago, that stuff is kind of deteriorating. You know, that stuff is fading away. Now, can we do more to help get rid of it? I think we can, and I think we should, but I don't want us to exaggerate or embellish. And I'm not saying that you were saying that. As far as the black and brown thing, I don't honestly believe that this is us overlooking YT supremacy. I don't believe that this is that. I think this is us acknowledging one of their tactics, because if they use quote unquote brown people, and they'll have brown people like Nuri Martinez or Nancy Sanchez get up there and vote no on reparations, or AOC act like she don't know who is black when asking about reparations, but you'll have these same politicians talk about giving reparations to illegals because they were in detention centers for ICE. That is them weaponizing their position against black Americans. All right. We got to understand. I mean, we're talking about from George Zimmerman to was it Philando Castile. We're talking about all of these Hispanic cops who are racially terrorizing the black community. So Hispanics are used and are weaponized. We have to understand, they might not be the biggest goal, but they are weaponized against our best interest. So it's important for us to see that so we can adjust accordingly. Okay, I didn't kick him off. But this, yeah, we do have to understand that. What we're doing, we're not overlooking. Anytime somebody talks about, oh, y'all focus on immigrants, and oh, y'all talk about us immigrants. No, we're understanding the plot now. We understand the strategy now. And if they're using immigrants as pawns against us, that needs to be addressed, because they've been doing it for a while and been able to skate free for a while. Now everybody is up on game, and now there's a consensus that this is an issue. So now you're seeing a wave of us talking about it and addressing it. But that's not to detract from the overall issue. All right. So, yeah, we got to acknowledge this, especially if the NAACP is trying to push this on the community. So we have to acknowledge that. Let me ask a question, though, to KD. Unfortunately, brother, you didn't get a chance to speak. If you got that chance to get on the mic, what would you have said?
What I was getting ready to emphasize to him was that like the phrase that I like to use for our mentality on the grassroots is a maximum security gatekeeping policy that we have. So anything that alludes to the dilution of the movement, such as building coalitions, et cetera, et cetera, you know what I'm saying, one-sided coalitions and things like that, I would explain to that brother, like, that's why you got that response that you got, bro, because we undergoing a maximum security gatekeeping type of policy with this now. Like we are not hearing that. So Vicky said something really strongly. She was basically saying in words, I'm gonna paraphrase, that she is reflecting the voices of the masses. And if you are in a position where you are a servant of your community or your constituents, you supposed to be on code with what the grassroots is saying. And if you're not on code with it, there's something else going on with you at that point. You out of touch. You either compromised or you just out of touch. So but nah, man, like for real, for y'all mostly said it all before I got the chance to. So yeah, good deal.
Well, I appreciate that. That's very true. I wish you would have let a few more people speak, considering the fact that, first off, I don't even, because he wasn't on the list, so I don't know why she like threw him in last minute, but she threw him and then the other lady in last minute. And that kind of cut off the chances that we were able to speak. So, and she was kind of caping for him a little bit, but I'm talking about, remember, he came up to us. He came up to us and was still trying to talk. Like, he was trying to convince us for real. He was really off camera. He was really trying to convince us about this and his logic about that, for real.
Yeah. I want to slide something else into too as well. Something that I noticed when I first walked over to the empowerment station. This goes to the whole boule thing. Close to the same area where, close to that same area where that one boule cat was yelling at Phil Scott and everybody on the stage for getting on the that president of the Columbus NAACP. Man, when I first walking over there, man, what I seen a white T boy in a damn Alpha Phi Alpha shirt,
Mm.
talking to two black alphas. I seen that. I was like, oh man. Now that's not the first time I've seen it, but it's my first time seeing it in person. I've been to these fraternities and sororities had let some white tea members in, but now seeing it in person, you know what I'm saying, at the Ohio Black Expo, I'm like, oh good God. I say good
What is
God.
that fraternities though, black man? You know, like half of the
Hold on, brother. Hold on.
You gotta read out. It ain't your turn.
Hold on.
Yeah, you can pass the ball, brother Afro. That was all I had.
All right. Well, Boss Man was here before you, Planeteer. We're gonna get to you. Boss Man, you got it.
Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
So this is one thing that all of us need to know. So there's a creditor. There's a group of creditors.
1 minute.
And these
Okay, I was
creditors.
lost in the comments. We didn't
Wait,
get his ethnic
what?
group.
Yeah, your ethnic group for context.
Yeah, for context.
Oh, for my ethnic group,
Mm-hmm.
I'm historical foundational Black American. In fact, my family owned land that has a deep history of historical education. And on one part of my family, the other part was on the Trail of Tears. So, but it's one thing. Y'all feel me? Y'all understand?
Okay. All right. Yeah. What was you about
Can
to
y'all
add?
hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is one thing that everybody is not addressing, and I can't express this enough. Shut the. Oh my God! Sorry. Sorry. I almost went in. Okay. So this is one thing that no one is addressing. There's a creditors that's global. They're international creditors, and when I first found out about them, Alexander of Europe, the king of Europe, Alexander, he fought. He was like the one that came right after the Wild Man's War and won their freedom from the Moors, and he had to borrow from the creditors to get their freedom to go all over the world into Africa and steal these stuff like that. The creditors have a deal they broke with them. They said that if I give you these funds, then anything you make after and with those funds belong to me. We are the only people in the entire world that has never borrowed from the international creditors, which is like IMF. So they're at war with us. We're like the last frontier. And all these tethers and people who come into our spaces and talk all that ratchet BS on us, about us, against us, and undermine us, they are ordered to do it, because if they don't, they'll be murdered because you
can't say it on TikTok. You gotta code your words, man.
Oh, my bad. Yeah. Oh, I love TikTok Shop. It's the best. But you can't give anything to someone who owns everything. So the only thing they want is lives if you cannot pay. And everything that they have from the loan that they took from these creditors belongs to the creditors. So they're in inevitable and eternal debt. And we're the only people on the face of the earth that isn't in debt with international creditors. And I'm going to drop right there.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you explain it, Afro, because my brain is turned to mush right about now. So it's your turn. You the host, brother. You can go on and do it, sir.
What Brother Tariq say? It's a clause. Okay, it's a clause.
What was historical? So he's not foundational Black American?
The IMF. Please, family, look up the IMF.
Hold on.
Can I ask you a question?
I'm asking the host because I'll get a shorter, more direct answer.
He said he's a historical foundational Black American, so that's like an elite class of foundational Black Americans. Okay.
Oh.
It's like top tier FBA.
So you're a boule baby. You top of the class. You cream of the crop.
Yeah.
That's what you're trying to say.
No.
Okay,
no,
but
no.
all right. So
Don't
okay,
get me
hold on.
wrong.
Let me just ask you so we can have clarity. You're saying the Hispanics that come over and infiltrate or harass black people, they're doing that because they owe a debt to European creditors?
Not European creditors. They don't have a country. It's a business. There are business class of people who actually loan money after
But
the
you
Wild Men's War.
but
You have to please look this up.
are they European though? Because you said they were in European. Europe.
No, they're a multinational business, international. They're a multi-international business.
Mm,
Yeah.
okay. And
Yeah, one
the
of them is called the IMF.
The Hispanic community owes them money.
Yeah, that's one of many.
So in order to pay their debt back, they're harassing black people because that. I'm just trying to get what you're
No,
putting down.
no. What it is that they gave them money after they won their freedom to fight to gain country and ground where they're from because they could not pay and produce anything on their own.
But okay,
So they borrowed
hold on,
money
brother, hold on, because I want to fast forward to why they're attacking us.
because we're the only ones who never broke a deal with
But
international creditors.
I get it, I know that. But why are the Hispanics attacking us? Why are we being attacked by other people who owe them a debt?
Because they are slaves to the international creditors.
Okay.
We're the
Are
only
the
people
internet
who
okay?
don't
Are the
owe
international
them.
creditors sending them to attack us?
Absolutely. They
Okay.
have to. If they don't,
Oh, okay.
they'll go to war. Oh, WAR. I love
Okay.
TikTok
Thank you.
shop.
Thank you.
Excuse my French.
Who are the international creditors? Because it seems like we can just like cut
One
the
of them,
middleman and we can just get to them.
yeah. So one of them is IMF, and there's a group of them too. So oh God, the website slipped my mind right now.
They have a website.
But
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
yes,
Mm.
yeah,
Is it like
there's a bunch of them.
Is it like www.illuminati.com or like .web or like what is it like
Nah, I ain't none.
www.
Quit
Like
clowning.
I'm
Quit clowning.
You
I'm
Quit
sure?
bro.
Man,
clowning.
he
I
asked
just
he
looked up
asked you a
some.
question, sir.
Just
Okay,
Calm down,
Google.
man. You drunk?
Yo, wait a
Please
minute.
chill. You
Google.
drunk, man?
hold on now.
Wait. Google the creditors of every country, and you'll see there's a list of them.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. We gonna look into that.
Thank you for
Yeah,
your
much
juicy gene
love.
plebiscite babble. Good job, sir. Thank you.
Let's get
Wait a
to.
minute, brother.
Hold
Don't come at me
on. We
like
gotta get
that.
to.
Sit your
We
drunk
gotta
ass
get to.
down
I'm
with your
Stop
joking.
plebiscite
it.
babble.
No, I'm
Stop.
dropping
Stop it.
real.
Stop it.
I'm
All
Stop
right,
it.
dropping.
all
I'm
right.
Stop
No
it.
dropping real
arguing,
stuff.
Everybody
fellas.
stop.
No
Let's
arguing.
Okay, you
All
done.
right.
DJ, thank you. All right, we're
No
gonna
arguing,
move
boss
on to
man. It's
Planeteer.
over.
All right, Planeteer.
What's up, black man?
How you doing?
Another day in USA, baby.
Mm-hmm. You like
Hell
to
yeah.
add something? I know you said something about the Divine Nine or in the
Yeah, I was
fraternity.
I'm from Baltimore City. So born and raised. The DC they got the Black American Museum. The third floor is dedicated to Prince Hall, Freemasonry, Boule, Black fraternities,
But
HBCUs.
wait. Are you a Black American from Baltimore? Like, you can't use a city or state as your ethnic group.
Is
That's
my
all.
ethnic group.
What's your ethnic group? Black American?
Yeah, man.
Okay, thank you.
Baltimore City is like the fourth largest black city in America, right? I don't
That's
know.
a, but do you
That
know
don't mean you
immigrants
Black
were born
American.
there?
That don't mean you Black
Hey,
American.
y'all can hear
Exactly.
if we talking this real shit, we
So
can.
It was just a don't get
we are
offended, man.
talking
Don't
real
get
Ask you a
shit,
offended. We
right?
just
question.
asking,
And what
brother.
we're not
Okay,
gonna do,
go ahead. Well,
No,
Lord,
I'm just saying, like, bro.
you can
What?
finish your statement, man.
All right, I
That's just
got
a
you, man.
rule we have for people we don't know. That's it. You got
I
it.
got you. We're on the word. I just at the end of the day, right? The NAACP. We know who the founders of that is. It's not us. W.E.B. Du Bois was one of the biggest traitors to Black America. If you just do the history on who he was and what he represented and who funded him and all that, you know what I'm saying? So it's just funny that we still having this problem, bro. Because it don't matter if who born. These devils gonna vaccinate your baby. You don't got no say so in that. So I'm just thinking, when are we gonna start thinking self-reliance? Because I'm a farmer. I'm a hemp farmer. I grow industrial hemp. So you can grow everything from hemp. China makes almost $2 trillion a year from hemp products, just from buying land. They're growing batteries from marijuana hemp for these new BYD electrical vehicles that can fully charge in 5 minutes. This is about to be a $5 trillion a year industry by 2032. And this is something that we're totally ignoring as Black people. You got a hemp wood that's just 100 times stronger than regular wood. Hemp paint, hemp food, hemp protein, highest source of protein in nature. Hemp fiber, hemp plastic, 20 times stronger than plastic. These are all multi-billion-dollar industries come from the waste of the plant that we throw away. I'm just thinking and talking self-reliance. I know y'all want to go vote for the same Freemasonic politician that's owned by the Jewish bankers. Like, bro, this thing is over with, bro. Like
You can't
America,
say
Okay.
Jay.
Hold. Oh, okay.
I got
You
y'all, but
gotta
America
say
is also
small
with,
hat.
man.
This is
Small
my
hat.
thing, right? This is my
Listen,
thing. The community is not going to be able to advance if we don't have the intellectual discipline to stay on subject. If we have a subject, and this is why I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna be frank. This is why Black people have taken so long to get anywhere, okay? And why a small amount of Black people have been able to do a lot, and a large amount of Black people can't. Because when you get a large amount of Black people in a room, it's always a few of them that want to change the subject to something we completely not talking about. Now it's all like, we got to understand it's a secret society of underground Atlanteans, all right, and they're controlling the sky people, and they have the weather control
bro,
thing, and they're making the weather
I
disaster
got you. But
for
it's
the
Be
future
basic.
quiet.
generation. It becomes
The
that.
Washington
Okay,
Monument,
brother.
Let him
And
speak.
then
He's the host. Shut up, man.
the
and then
Washington
when we
Monument
push
is in your
back, y'all get
face
offended.
Can you shut
What
up?
does this have to do with the subject, my man? It's
because
the
the
Dog.
cause. What does this have to do with the
they
subject,
own
Kill
brother?
the
what? They
planet,
are the
dog. Kill the
men.
planet. Be quiet.
They
Hold
are
They
the
on.
men
crossing
behind the
stuff
curtain.
out.
They are the men behind the curtain.
They crossing
Okay,
stuff
okay.
out.
Reptilian
Brother,
babbler.
One
we
moment.
have a
Well, let me say
subject and
something
a
to Corbin.
prompt. We have
Afro,
a
let me
subject
just
and a prompt, y'all.
right.
Come
Let
on,
me.
y'all be coming in and be all like, okay, I know y'all talking about this, but y'all don't understand the real power is in the wind turbines. And why do we not have wind turbines in the Black community? Okay, they don't
I
want
ain't like
fresh air in
that.
the Black
Don't
community
do
because
me
fresh
like
air
that.
He's
circulates the
not.
air,
He's
Just
talking
circulates the
about
the
the
plants.
Say
I
too.
community.
Like that's
Let me say this.
this
Afro
type of
cutting up,
stuff,
but
this aluminum foil hat talk.
Right. So you
Don't
get vaccinated or you
I'm
didn't get
saying
vaccinated.
the
I'm saying the
I'm saying the
IMF
vaccination is
fact that you
aluminum talk
can't
too.
it
the fact that
stands
that is
for
not what we're
International
talking
Monetary
about.
Both of you
Fund.
We
goofballs,
are
shut
not
up while the host is
topic.
talking.
Stop. We're not
stop you,
talking
Jay.
about these
Let
things. And this
Afro.
is why we can't get nowhere. Because when y'all bring stuff up, true or not true, when y'all bring stuff up, now we're shifting and turning, and the conversation's here and the conversation there, and then is there life on Mars? And do we need to go to another planet where we have our own domicile? Like, okay, brother. Can we talk about the NAACP and the Black and Brown Coalition? There
I
may
just
be
want
life on Mars.
Hey,
It may
Tootie.
not be. I don't know, but that's not the subject today, and we can have that another time.
and I also want to say when the host is talking, please don't come off your mic. When anyone's talking, just stay on mute until they land because now we got to take 3 minutes to address that. And that's why I asked for everybody who was in the room when I asked Afro, does he know how to change the number of boxes to include less people? It's this stuff here. We have to learn, and I used to do this a lot, but I started watching the playbacks of your lives. There's another brother who identifies as Black American who puts his lives, D, and I started watching his lives, and the playbacks go so much smoother when we talk one at a time.
Yeah.
It really does, y'all.
Thank you.
You're
Don't
welcome.
play me
Let's.
out. I meant everything I said.
But everything you said was not on subject. That's my point. All right.
And
Oh, my
sir, let me
bad.
tell you
But
something.
to
We
me, it
can't, sir,
was.
boss man, what
Okay.
happened is we can't hear what you have to say, and then you can't hear what anyone else has to say so that you can actually understand what's going on and what each person is trying to say and convey because they're interrupted. They'll forget their train of thought. So everyone's voice matters
Yeah.
here, but let's just take turns hearing each other out and be respectful, all right? Because that way everyone's point can be
Like
made.
word is bond, but I gotta say something. If say something wrong on me, I have to say
Bro, no,
something.
no, you don't. No,
You
you
feel
don't.
me?
When first off, when you were talking, the second I gave you the mic and you were talking,
Mitochondria.
boss man.
Mic
Okay,
messing
that's
up. You
enough.
gotta mute your mic.
That's enough. Okay. The second you came up and you were talking, you damn near, the second I brought somebody else up, you damn near told that girl to shut the f up, and she didn't even interrupt you on purpose. She just came up there like you was on 10, entering the conversation.
But I corrected myself. I corrected
Okay.
myself though.
And
I
all right,
apologize. You know what I
all
mean?
right. Oh,
You know
it's
what I
all
mean?
up. I ain't got nothing
And
against you.
wow, I'm not a wild,
It's all
fearful
up. Thank you.
person.
All right. So now we're gonna, cause I hear myself on the playback too. So that must mean he's listening in another room or another device. Let's get to black music. Black
Black
music.
music, please.
Hello, hello, hi.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes. What's your
Mm-hmm.
ethnic group?
I am Black Jamaican as well as Black American and also Black African. So I have a lot of Black representation inside of me.
Is
I
it
ain't
a
no
full
asshole
Can
moon,
I
no
give
brother?
you
brother.
the
What is
proper
going
term?
on,
Wait,
y'all?
wait,
What
y'all. Wait, wait,
Go
wait.
another
Wait,
clause.
wait, wait.
what
I'm
is
gonna give
going
him the
on?
proper term so we don't have to go through this.
Oh
It's
my
gonna be
god.
short and sweet. So here in the USA, you would be identified as multi-ethnic. There you go. Multi-ethnic, right?
No,
Because
no,
in the
ma'am. No,
US
no, no, ma'am.
construct,
Ma'am. Relax and
I think, man, sir, I'm trying to save time, right? The
ma'am, ma'am,
Jamaicans have told me all the
Clean
time that
that
I've
head ass
known
up.
ma'am,
them since the
Okay,
ma'am,
well,
90s
no,
that they
bumba
were not
clots. No,
black.
no, we're
So
not
have
doing that
Africans.
now. Don't do that no more.
Yeah. So
Is
I
it
give
ma'am,
Bumba
you the
Glut?
proper. Okay,
ma'am.
we
Calm
can
down.
change
Calm.
the energy of the
No,
room.
no,
He's
the bumba
multi-ethnic.
clot. No, he got to go. No,
Norman, Norman.
no, man.
We can't
He
mess
called
with
me
you,
out.
man.
He
No,
told
man.
on
Cross his
everything.
man.
No, listen to this rubbish. No, no. What is going? Is it a full moon today?
It's a
Like,
full
what is
moon. Is
going
it
on?
Sagittarius? Is it a
Okay,
blue moon,
it's up.
y'all? It
It's a full
is May
moon.
31st.
Okay,
Yeah, it
okay,
is.
it's something.
So here, with the Sagittarius blue moon, think of expansion. If there's a project that you want to expand or something you want to start, go ahead and do it. You got the energy of the full moon, y'all. Go ahead. Get started
Got you
now.
there
I'm
smoking,
not telling you
listening to
throw
that
$1
Bob
million
Marley.
or your last savings behind this project. I don't know your budget. But now's the time for you to think of expansion in all areas of your life. And I don't mean polygamy either. Don't have your wives coming over to me talking about you told my man to expand and now he came home with a second wife. I ain't talking about that. Yeah, y'all.
Oh man, oh man.
I can be kind of
Folks
corny,
is
y'all. I
folks is on
can.
something else. And that's the
Let me get
thing.
back to the
This is
topic,
why we
Lord.
got to be very strict when it comes to the discipline here. And everybody, you know, we try to make sure the community gets a voice to say certain things, but there's a time and a place. People feel like anytime they get a microphone or a chance for people to listen, they will take it wherever they want to take it instead of what the conversation is based off of. All right. They be all like, yeah, well, you talking about Black and Brown Coalition, but nobody talking about Area 51. Nobody talking about Area 51 or Area 52. I just don't understand that. Like, that's what we dealing with. Okay. Let's talk about Area 51 now.
It
If
was the
that's what
wrong
we
Oh
turkey
dealing
out
God.
with.
for. He ain't know no better.
Brother, Foundational, what's up, man?
What's up, family? I came just in time on my break, but man, just in my little 5 minutes of being up here, this is hilarious. We got people trying to move the goalposts to being on different planets, and we got the black immigrants that always say, you guys always talking about the weak black immigrants, and now we're talking about black and brown unity, which is nothing to do with black immigrants. So what are they doing? Jumping in front of a punch and then crying about getting hit. And this is what I always say. It can be a conversation about something else, and they jump in front of a punch all the time. This person coming up talking about no man, no man. No, we don't want to hear no man. We talking about what we talking about, and you're changing the conversation. So this is the kind of things that's going on. Like they said earlier, it definitely was a few moons, a few full moons the last couple of nights, but it's a weird thing. But as far as this black and brown unity, right, I find it real interesting when it come down to benefiting and everybody else. They want this unity, right? But they know how to separate, right? They have all these different type of caucus, this caucus, that caucus, and all this separation. And then when it comes to us, there's a black and brown unity. And and unfortunately, it's some of our people that's pushing that. And I actually saw the clip of this video, and the brother tried it. And I'm glad they checked them. And they let him talk for a little while. But their faces told everything that our faces told as he continued to talk. He was trying to push that. He don't understand. And this is how you know they're so out of touch with what the needs and the wants of what the black American community want. That this brother was lost in the source and didn't understand nor read the room or understand what was going on. He was confused, and I couldn't believe how confused he was. You're supposed to be the NAACP. Why are you confused about the needs and wants of the black American community? What's the confusion? We only been saying it forever for the last 3+ years. Why are you confused? Because you don't care about the needs and wants of the black American community. You about the needs and wants of everybody else outside of that, to the point where you step on a stage with black Americans and look like you an outsider, like you an immigrant. Like you should have saw his confusion. So it's really weird that a lot of these different organizations that's supposed to be specifically for black Americans, or we don't mind helping others, but make sure our agenda is first, they confused on our agenda. That's really what I promise you. We would have had somebody on the Black Caucus up there. They would have been the same way. Wait, whoa, what's going on? Why are you guys looking like that? Yeah, because that's not the language we've been speaking for the last 3 years. Wake up, duh. I'm
Yeah.
like, but it's just really funny to me. It's just, again, there's a lot of agents of chaos all around. We see here, we got agents of chaos in these organizations. And this, again, is another example of how these organizations that was made and created for the black American community are no longer for the black American community. They've been hijacked, and other people have been put in there to try to remove and undermine the black American community. I'll land on that.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. You know, I mean, it's the out of touch is insane. All right. And to be honest, when he said it, he didn't even like pull back and like try to listen and hear people like, oh, okay, I get what you mean. I'm talking about he was standing on that. He was standing on that the whole time. And then even afterwards, he was still on that. Everybody you would have thought he would read the room well enough to be all like, well, that's not the right time to say this or whatever. I'm talking about he stood on it. He stood on it. All right. So it just shows how out of touch they are. And it shows that when it comes to different chapters, they pretty much all operate within the same frame. Even if there's slight differences between chapter and chapter, pretty much the agenda of the NAACP is stagnant across the board. Let's get to Red Hills lady, and then we'll get to we'll get to you.
Hey, good afternoon, panel. Like I say, always I give you your flowers. You have a great live, you and BX. First and foremost, you have to understand that his pockets is loaded, though. He was paid to do what he was supposed to do, and that's to talk about the Black and Brown Coalition. Of course, we don't agree with that, though. And yes, when I saw Vicky Diller's face, Phil Scott, and the other people in the panel, even the audience, I thought tomatoes and bricks was going to come. The way that when the camera turned towards the audience, I thought people was going to start throwing stuff. Stuff is going to start to fly, though. But it only just further shows us that we have to delineate and we have to get rid of these, stop holding on to these so-called legacy agencies that were supposed to be for us and about us. But unfortunately, they either cooned out, sold out, or pocket out. And this is just another prime example on live social media platforms that we see that we cannot deal with these agencies, though. We just have to continue doing what we're doing and create our own. This is nothing new under the sun. I'm not even surprised. I'm just not surprised. So once again, you guys keep spreading that information, and I'll do the same. No, and these legacy organizations, they're just not for us and about us. They're just long gone, and it's time for something new. And I'll mute.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. We gotta let him go. Let's get to Lazarus.
Lazarus.
Lazarus. Okay.
Lazarus. Yeah, hello, hello. What's going on? So I want to address the planet dude real quick. Even though I'm diverted from the prompt, I saw that video plenty of times. He's not wrong, but I keep seeing on panels they keep doing the same thing. They keep bringing up a topic that has nothing to do with these prompts, and it's like, why do y'all keep doing that? We trying to focus on one lane. If we go split off into every splinter, it's never going to work. We got to stay on code with whatever we're doing. We got to stop doing this. I don't know if you're part of the family or not, but every prompt I seen, they keep changing it. I seen a prompt the other day, a live other day. They was talking about they was talking about the Solani, what's coming up with Juneteenth, and they went into some gender stuff. Some people got on the prompt talking about some gender wars. Like, we ain't talking about that. And then everyone started arguing about gender wars. Like, yo, chill out. We on one subject. Let's focus on that. Stay on code on that, and we'll be okay. We gotta stop doing that. I guess he left or whatever. But he's not wrong, because I invested into some hemp property too and some hemp farms too. He's not wrong. It's profitable. That's not what we're addressing right now, family. So I'm gonna just say that and just leave it alone. I'm Black American from Philly all day.
All right.
Yeah.
Hey, we're
He wasn't
almost
really
at
talking about
100,000
nothing.
likes, y'all. We're almost at 100,000 likes. Everybody, if we tap the screen in the next 5 minutes, we can get to 100K. We can. We got over 200 people in here. So we got it. We got it, y'all.
So actually a comment, very interesting. Can't police the internet.
I see
Correct. We
that too.
can't.
Yeah.
You saw it. But however,
Mhm.
in this room, if you make it early enough, I set the decorum, right? And so, yeah, we have a prompt for a reason. Do we pivot from the conversation? Yes. But sometimes when people are long winded, when it's going to cause disruption, when we really want to stick to the host prompt because we didn't get to the crust of the information yet, we will ask you to redirect or go back to the prompt. Why should we get pushback on that? Do you know how much time hosts can put into a prompt? I don't care how simplistic it looks.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's my thing. This is not an open mic where anybody gets to come up and say whatever's on their mind. Anything and everything on your mind, just come up and say it. And this is not that. In order for us to solve problems, we got to stay focused. Okay. Oh, Casso is here. Casso, do you want to come up? I don't know if you saw the clip. It'd be interesting to hear what you got to say.
You know he did.
Yeah, I'm sure he did. I like to hear what he has to say. But until then,
He don't got no real information. All he
yeah,
do is just talk trash.
I was there. I was there, so I know exactly what happened, and I talked to the guy off camera too. So, yeah, I know fully what's going on. But for whatever reason, Casso believes that this not for whatever reason, but he's trying to push that this black and brown coalition is something sensical, is something that can advance the community when we know it can't. We know the
So can
black
I
and the people of color coalition, it don't work. Okay, and you're not gonna be able to manipulate people. The jig is up, Casso. The jig is
so
up.
I
It
just
is. It
Get
is.
Pineapple here.
He's
one
talking,
moment,
and
y'all.
it's
One
interesting that
moment.
he's
I'm
in here
sorry,
because
DJ.
the
We always cutting you
conversations
off,
that
but
we
you
have
always
with
cutting us
Casso
off too.
was pretty much similar to the same conversation I was having with the NAACP guy. Because he was talking about, but the numbers, we'll have more numbers. And then when we have the numbers, no, we're not, we're that doesn't add up in reality.
Right.
Okay. On paper, more numbers, we get to topple the corrupt regime and people in power, all that. That sounds really cool. The problem is that Hispanics, the ones that you don't like Trump, but the Hispanics voted for Trump, and you ain't gonna say that. The Hispanics have shown time and time and time again and made it abundantly clear that they are not going to align themselves with what is in the best interest of the black community. And anybody who does not see that is willfully being obtuse. I don't even think you don't know it. I think you're willfully being obtuse about that fact.
Yeah,
Honestly.
yeah.
Before you
He's
wait,
he's
wait, wait,
he's
Marshall,
he's
Marshall,
literally.
wait 1 minute, 1 minute. So I want to say this, Castle is definitely free to come up. I'm gonna ask Afro just to remove some people from the panel because to limit the cutting. Afro gets into a zone when he wants to debate a topic. So even if it wasn't Castle or somebody else that is a topic he wants to have a mini debate on, I'd rather he get it out his system, y'all.
Yeah, yeah.
So Castle, if you want to come up, feel free.
Yeah, yeah. He's like my little fan. He follow me everywhere and
Can
every
I be one of
platform I
those
go
people
to.
that
To.
doesn't get dropped down,
Yeah,
BX?
Okay.
Because
he
I
my little
haven't
Okay.
been
fan.
like
Let's
want to explain
I know,
this.
I know. I was just putting it out there so
yeah.
nobody
I'm
gets
because
offended.
we're gonna wrap it up a little bit too.
Okay,
So I'm gonna
that's
let
all.
Jasmine go ahead. Casso, if you want to come up when I start wrapping it up, and then when everybody get their last word in, then I'll bring you up. How about that? That's fair. I think that's fair. So
Yeah.
Jasmine, you got it.
Happy Sunday, fun day. So it's almost, I like the seasons and just kind of being on track with the cycles that happens in our reality. So the last thing I heard was Casso, and the black and brown thing. This is his favorite topic for sure, for sure. And when it comes to NAACP and a lot of these other people who are, I wouldn't even call him a tether because I'm not really sure where he is. He does give, for me, this is my own opinion, Caribbean vibes. Some of the things that he said in the dialogue I've seen him have with other people who just also are Caribbean and are Caribbean, quote unquote, by like de facto, right? But when it comes to this brown and black coalition, there's no reality where brown people, which makes no sense, by the way, where these brown people have anything in common with us. They come from Central and South America. Let's be so for real. The people who call themselves brown, and they're literally conquistadors and Spaniards, by the way. They're white. They're white people, and they came from those caves. He wants us to link up with these people who come from these caste systems that once again come from this one region that happens to be around caves. And his ancestors and the people that he relates to happen to be from this caste system. There is no Latino, whether they look the same skin tone as us or not, that are going to come over here and say that me no black. This is a new thing. They were me no black a few years ago, and I don't know why anyone is not sitting here calling that out. These people who are Dominican that have that creamy light skin color, they consider themselves, and they actually are white tea people. Castle loved these people, and that's why he's so upset and is going so against FBA when it comes to the term. Whether you call yourself F or just BA or B1 or Sulani, he cannot stand us, and he goes against us every single day I've ever seen him on his freaking app, which hasn't been that long too, which is kind of like a, oh my gosh, a psyop type thing. That guy will sit here and go against us all day, and he panders to women. He loves women because the women, I will say some of our women, I guess they like freaking Caribbeans or whatever. I'm going to land there. But I think it's very interesting that a lot of the people who give Castle a pass that are just happen to be women happen to be suspected tethers too, if that makes sense.
I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna land Africa. I gotta go back, head
Yeah.
back. We gotta stop giving people like that any shine. I destroyed him on the Mara panel, and he's been following me everywhere ever since, trying to argue. And we gotta get to a point where if you're not doing for the community, you gotta do it for the community more than me, than to have a conversation with me at this point. I gotta see you doing for the community. If we're not gonna be up there fighting and argue, that's beneath me. If you got something to say, and this is why he only come on panels where he think he got the mute button and he's scared to come up, cause he know damn well what's going to happen. But it's all good. My thing is we got to put more attention to the issues, right? Because we let people like this, Ages of Chaos, get in between and start derailing the conversation as if he's somebody special. He's nobody special. He brags about the numbers because he got little white tees, and Mexicans falling behind him. Well, yeah, we don't have them numbers. Why? Because we not catering to white tea or Mexicans. That's why we don't have those numbers. So shout outs to that. We don't want those numbers. We don't want them people and trying to cater, and so it's just, again, we just got to stop giving people like that too much shine and attention, and we got to, because honestly, the NAACP, and these are the people that's pushing a lot of these people in positions of power, and my bad, it's a car coming. These are a lot of people putting a lot of these people in positions of power. Because I always say the immigrant class is not an issue. They fled their country. It's soft and sweet black Americans like that, the we are the world black Americans that don't mind being the carpet for the world to walk all over. Yeah, those are the people that's putting them in position. Those are the problem child. So that's, again, this is the issue that we have in hand, right? We got to stop giving them the light and attention because they feed off that. So that's all I'm gonna say. But thank you so much. I appreciate y'all for having me up. Again, if Casso got an issue, I want to see him do more for the community. Then we could talk. Other than that, I don't want to hear nothing. I'm not gonna get into fighting, arguing, scratching. I ain't doing none of that. That's beneath me. But y'all be safe. Thank you so much, Afro, for having me up. A bunch of y'all, thank you so much. Y'all be safe. Y'all. Peace.
Yeah, peace to you, brother. Yep.
Peace,
All right.
Marshall.
Let's let everybody get their last. We'll say 1 minute. We'll give everybody a minute. So we'll get to Lady Hills or Red Hills. Sorry, Red Hills.
Yes, I'm here. How are you guys? So
Do
I
all
just want to
that.
say, great live. You guys always bring the information, and I appreciate you guys. I give you your flowers. I just want to say that it is time for us to create our own agencies. The higher power makes no mistake, though. We're done with all these so-called legacy agencies who, under the guise of being black, but they're always helping everybody else. It's just a message from above, and our ancestors are speaking, and you guys are definitely doing the work. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. Appreciate you. Thank you.
I
All
say
right.
this, Afro, before you move on.
Okay.
One thing I noticed, I'm like Marshall. Like, do we have to give them shine and stuff? But one thing I noticed about our people, meaning foundational Black Americans, some of y'all really like to debate, and y'all will sit there and be like, "Yes, BX, I get it, BX. You'll never catch me in that room again." And guess what BX does? Catch you in that room again, debating. So I just wanted to say to Marshall, I get what you're saying, but you gotta understand, Afro is one of them brothers that like to debate. So I see why we only getting a minute
But
for
I
final words or getting cut short while Castle's in the room. He wants to have a mini debate, y'all. Go ahead, Afro. But I love to
Castle
hear
wants
it
to
because
be
I
the
learned.
main. I'm sorry, BX. Oh, I was gonna say that Castle wants to be the main character, and I find him boring. To be honest, I find him so boring. He just jumps up. Do you know who he reminds me of? He reminds me of the male version of that chick, Political Slayer. They both come up so hardcore, like, "I said we're over here paying freaking Democrats, we bleed blue. We gotta sit here. We got all these Hispanics over here loving on us, and we need them. We need these Hispanics. They're the same freaking goofies. It's the same goofiness, and I'm only saying that because you're in the room, Castle. Because I don't talk about people when they're not here. You're the same goofy as Political Slayer, and I saw her here earlier, whatever. But that's just kind of what I felt like. It's like giving Mickey Mouse, and that's why I say that in that voice, respectfully.
yeah. You got 1 minute. You can go ahead and.
Hey, thank you. So beyond Castle, right? The NAACP asked for Black and Brown coalitions. Absolutely not. And this goes back to
Oh
dang.
man. Oh wow. Well, I tried. I tried, Jasmine. We'll catch you next time, though.
It's all right. Next time. F you guys. You brown lovers. Bye.
All right. Oh damn, they got her out there real quick. I said 1 minute. They said no. They said no. We're not doing that. EJ, you want to get your last statement, EJ?
Brother, you know I do, because once you get these Democratic plantation babblers on the countdown and on the panel, they just start letting biscuit crumbs fly out their mouth. They ain't really doing nothing. The moral of the story is the NAACP is the same group of people that has been pandering to these other immigrant groups for decades. And I don't want to even bring that individual up because he's pure trash. The moral of the story is when you come into the brothers panel, stick on topic. I don't want to hear nothing about off-brand reptilian bankers from a third world country talking about Hispanics. are in debt to another group of people, so they gotta go after, Black Americans because of their rhetoric. These people are anti-Black American. They melanin when it comes to their own group of people. And I think that the NAACP should be dismantled, like I said earlier, because if you got biscuit crumb snatchers and off-brand feds, babblers in the panel not sticking on topic, then these people are no use to us. And I suggest that we keep on delineating and doing our own thing and keep blocking these people. That's all I gotta say.
Appreciate you. That's my brother EJ. I mean, Castle, you're not even in the request, so I don't think you're really serious for real. Candy, do you final words?
Sure. I'll make a final statement. And you want to know something, Afro? Let me give you your flowers. So, you've been riding with us. Let's see, how long I've been following you? For years, longer before I even came on to TikTok, because I wasn't even in these TikTok streets. I was just on YouTube and I seen you there. I was on watching all your videos for years. And so I remember you showed me when they were coming through the border. You were showing us about what was happening on a grassroots level. You were boots on the ground, really showing us what was happening. I want to thank you for being that voice to teach us and show us in real time versus the fake news. You are inspirational. I want to thank you for what you do. And just give you your flowers. I don't know if I've had a chance to tell you that, but I've been riding with you for a while, and I'm gonna ride with you till the wheels fall off. You be blessed and encouraged, and you take one for the team, baby. Get them.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much. I appreciate you.
You're
All
welcome,
right.
baby.
All right. Well, Castle, it's not. It is what it is. You said request soon. I can't have that because I got someplace I got to be at a certain time. You came in. I don't know how long you was listening, but you came in kind of when we was wrapping it up. So next time, it's all right. Next time, KD, you got it.
Yeah, man. Once again, peace to the fam, brother Afro. It was a pleasure running into you up at the Ohio Black Expo, man. You know what I'm saying? Looking forward to seeing you at other events. Um, yeah. So with regards to the Black and Brown Coalition thing, no, no. Oh, and Circle the Wagons too. Circle the Wagons. He down in the comments. He met you as well.
Oh,
But yeah, as far as the Black and Brown thing, it's an emphatic no, no. Minority Coalition in general, no, absolutely not. It's okay. We tried, we cool. And then I've reached a point personally where I'm not into debating or going back and forth fussing with anybody, whether it be Democrat shields or tell like because no, it doesn't matter what you say to me. I'm not moving. You know what I'm saying? It really doesn't matter. So let's not even waste each other's time. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get busy doing what I gotta do outside, and I'm gonna just make my statements and just let people sit with them. You know what I mean? And with that, peace and love.
peace to you, brother. Thank you. All right, Castle, you did come up late. I do have to go soon, so this is gonna be a real like. I'm gonna let you say your piece. I'm gonna say my piece. Maybe you can respond, and we're gonna go like that because I ain't got a lot of time. But I'm gonna let you go uninterrupted. You
Say
go.
my piece as it pertains to what? I don't know why these people saying I'm scared to come. I've been on your panel about probably my third time.
Yeah,
You
but
ain't you yeah, you hadn't been to my space. So I'm
I
pretty
have.
sure.
I've been to your thing a couple times.
Yeah, you came to my panel to ask me to come to your panel. You like
Well, I've
operated.
I've been on your panel at least twice. But what do you have to
Nah.
say about the what do you have to say about the prompt though? I got rid
What
of everybody
what
else. So
what should I say about the prompt? I
you
believe
would
in black and brown unity, so of course I'm gonna agree with it. Why wouldn't I agree with it?
okay.
You think I'm gonna go against the NAACP for what a social media faction is saying? The NAACP is responsible for real legislation being passed.
Okay.
NAACP has influence in terms of law, politicians, America. Why would I go against that? What issue do you have with what the NAACP is saying?
Okay. You done? Just even if you respect the NAACP for what they have, I was physically there. This man was not shown any type of respect after saying what he said. None whatsoever, right? And the thing is that the NAACP currently does not align with my agenda and where the black community are going. And we're seeing that. We're seeing black Americans go to NAACP events and call them out. So they're not in alignment with Black Americans and where our agenda is heading. So yeah, they have historical claim, and I'll give them that. But right now, as of right now, they're not in alignment, and nor is a Black and Brown coalition in the best interest of Black Americans. We've learned from that mistake.
Right. I mean, well, what you believe and what you think don't matter, honestly, in comparison to the NAACP. Uh, I'm not sure why y'all think it's over for the Democratic Party and black people have chosen to go astray, and specifically if y'all think black people gonna become Republicans. Black people aren't gonna become Republicans. That's a fantasy. That's a fallacy. Good majority of white Republican people are now voting on the left side of politics. When you look at the 92%, they the backbone to the Democratic Party. The 92% hadn't budged. They are right where they were in 2024. So I'm not sure why y'all think what's going on social media has some sort of correlation to what's going to go on outside. When you look at the primary that they had down in Georgia, black voter turnout was the highest of any demographic of people down in Georgia, and that black voter turnout was obviously for the Democratic Party and Democratic candidates. So I get it, man. I understand the pro-black motivational movement thing that's going on, but that doesn't translate to political power. For one thing, when it comes to this FBA shit, it's becoming laughable because you have people on here attacking other black Americans, calling them tethers, calling them lying, and saying that people from America are from the Caribbeans. It's just it just leave a bad taste in folk mouth. And I honestly think that FBA could have been something great, but y'all took this shit, man, and y'all made this shit a social media hate group. And it's gonna be hard for civilized, sane-minded Black American people to gravitate towards it. That's why I push against it. Because at the end of the day, every time one of you guys, well, not you, I had a decent conversation with you, but a good majority of these lower tier FBAs on social media, anytime they open their mouth, they talking about hatred and division. They never have a plan. They don't have a political standing. They think staying at home, sitting on the internet and attacking Jamaicans and Haitians and Mexicans gonna solve black problems, man. That's not gonna solve black problems. I like to see some work be done.
Well, I brought you up because you were disagreeing with the prompt. Now, your disagreement with what you heard on other people's spaces and other people's panels and all that, if I wasn't there for it, I can't speak to it.
Now I'm
The
responding to what was
legitimacy
said
of
on your
that,
panel
or
prior to me
what you
coming
feel
up
like
there.
people aren't doing or are
Yeah, I'm
doing, that's
responding.
off. That's off.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm
That's off
responding to what was
subject.
said. That's
So
fine.
I'm going to I'm going to
Yeah,
repeat the
I'm
question.
responding to what was said on your panel before I came up here.
Okay, but you came up to have a conversation about the prompt, right?
Yeah, we're having it. Let's have it. We
Okay.
have it.
Your logic of the Black and Brown coalition, and we've had this before, so we don't have to be too long about this. You feel like that's something that Black people should be striving for, or having an olive branch reaching to the Hispanic community for. What benefit? First off,
No,
I
I
don't think that
believe
is
no, I
feasible,
believe
but
that
what benefit do you think
I
we'll
believe
get
that
from it?
Latino Hispanic community should be reaching towards the black community. I don't like the way you worded that. I don't think black people, specifically black American people, I don't think we should be going out of our way to try and strategize or organize and come together with any other group of people. Other groups of people should understand the power that we have in this country due to what we've been able to accomplish in this country, and they should gravitate towards us. When I speak about black and brown unity, I'm speaking about black and brown unity in a way in which we are prioritized as a group of people. My thing is I like to see more brown American people, immigrants, and also non-brown immigrant people re-educated in terms of black American history. So yeah, I believe black and brown unity is imperative. And no, I'm not saying we should go out of our way as black American people to reach out or grab or chase any other group of people. People should be gravitating towards us because we know how to fight back against a dominant white society. And we are fit to coach in terms of dealing with some of these issues we have in the country.
Okay, that's a little different from the last time we spoke.
No, it's not.
I think that's a different stance from the last time we spoke. But let me ask you this then.
No, it's
And
not.
I'm just
That's
gonna ask
always
you
been
this.
my stance. Yeah, that's always been my
All right.
stance.
Well, okay. All right.
Yeah.
What do you think we'll get from the Black and Brown coalition? Us
Political
getting
power,
to us getting with them that we wouldn't have or couldn't get by ourselves as Black Americans.
numbers, political power. There's 55 million black people in this country. It's only 5 million black immigrants. So why y'all put so much priority on black immigrants? I don't understand.
Okay, well, if it's only 5 million, and it's 55 million of us, we're not really increasing our numbers that much.
What are you talking about? I was referring to black immigrants. You asked me a question about
Okay,
Hispanic and
okay. You
Latinos.
said okay.
Yeah.
I'm
By
talking about
coming together, we
the
take
Hispanic community. The
right,
Hispanic community. You say we'll get numbers with the Hispanic community,
right.
right?
By coming together, we take our voter base
Okay.
from.
Now, the
Can I
flaw.
finish? Can I finish the
I'll
statement?
let you finish.
Yeah. By coming together, we take our voter base from 50 billion people up to about 110, 115 million people. That makes sense to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
That would only work though. And I get where you're coming from, but that would only work if they were in agreement with what we're on. Now, let me ask you this other question. Do you believe that even half the Hispanic population in America today believes with reparations specifically for Foundation Black Americans?
The numbers say that 56% of Hispanic folk voted for Kamala Harris. When you get specific with it, when you get down to it, Mexican Americans specifically are already in alignment with black folk politically. 70 something percent of Mexican Americans voted for Kamala Harris and vote progressively, and they've always voted that way. Now, when you talk about white passing Cubans, white Colombians, even white present Mexican folks, any white present Hispanic or Latino person, I'm not speaking about unity with them because they have already chosen the side. They align themselves with whiteness. I'm talking about darker tone, more indigenous folk who really identify with their indigeneity and heritage that they have. I'm not talking about white Latinos or white.
Okay. Here's the thing though. Them voting for Harris, that does not at all in any way, in any shape, form, or fashion prove that they agree with reparations. It doesn't at all. Okay. They voted for Harris because they wanted Trump not to get in power because they already know what Trump was going to do with ICE because he said it a bunch of times. So that was in their best interest. That does not mean that they agree with reparations, which is not something that she really campaigned. It was not in her website or anything like that. So that was to save themselves and to keep them in the country. That was not for our best interest. What about Jasmine Crockett? The Hispanics did not turn out for Jasmine Crockett. So all of that Hispanics and black people, and we've always been coming together or whatever the case is. Jasmine Crockett made a huge appeal to the Hispanic community, and they did not turn out for her. They're not going to turn out for her because they don't see no benefit in that for them. They don't ally themselves with any type of black people unless they saw, and first off, Kamal's not black, and I know you disagree with that, but I just got to say it. They're not going to vote for a black person unless that's going to save them in some shape, form, or fashion, which is why they voted for Harris. They voted for her because they thought that voting for her was going to save them from Trump. And then a lot of the Hispanic community, Trump increased his percentage in. Every time he ran, he increased his percentage of Hispanic voters. So they got infighting of themselves. They got to conquer. Currently, right now, you got Mexican Hispanics, not Cubans, Mexican Hispanics working for ICE, deporting folk, all that. So Hispanics they already got their infighting and internal turmoil going on. So that don't sound like something we should be aligning ourselves with. They're not even on the same page.
Yeah, I think all groups of melanated people in a dominant white society gonna have infighting because we all dealing with colorism. Black people deal with colorism the same way the brown community deal with colorism. We've always had a light skin, dark skin problem in Black America. Why would we lie and act like we didn't or we don't? We do.
Okay.
The way
The
they deal with
difference though,
colorism.
hold on, because that's
Give
deflecting.
me a second. I have a few things I want to
Okay,
respond
hold
to in
on.
terms
That's
of what you
deflecting
said.
though.
Right, that's fine. I have a few things I want to respond to in terms of what you said. Now, you spoke about Jasmine Crockett, which I think is disingenuous. I don't personally believe that you would have voted for Jasmine Crockett anyway. So the fact that you bringing up Jasmine Crockett and using her as political leverage, I think that's disingenuous. Yeah,
No,
Jasmine Crockett
I'm
lost that night.
disproving your point. I'm
Right,
disproving your point because you brought up
right.
Texas.
I like to finish
You
my.
brought up Texas, and that's why
I
I brought
like.
up Jasmine
I like,
Crockett.
I like to finish my statement. I don't
Go
recall.
ahead.
I don't. Yeah, I don't recall mentioning Texas. I said Mexican Americans. I didn't say anything about Texas. You
I'm
brought
sure you
Texas
did.
up.
I heard you say
No,
Texas, but okay.
that's fine. I like to finish my point.
Mhm.
Jasmine Crockett lost that night, but we also have had three black promising political people, men and women, introduced to the political space because of the energy that she brought to that particular primary, and they won in majority Hispanic districts. You have Tracy Tracy Gibson down in Harris County, first woman, black woman to become the chair of the Democratic Party down in Harris County. Harris County is almost 50% Latino. She was also endorsed by Latino city councilmen. You also have Amber Givens. Amber Givens is the first black woman to become the district attorney in Dallas County. Dallas County is almost 50% Latino as well. So you're seeing black folk down in Texas win in predominantly Latino districts. You have Quentin Wilkes in Pearland, Texas. He flipped the Republican seat blue. And he was supported overwhelmingly by Latino and black people in that particular district. Down in Pearland County, that city is almost 50% white folk. So black and brown unity is the only reason he was able to become mayor of that town. Now, I know you Republican shields like to do this shit where y'all call everybody else Democratic shields. But if you're going to say that, right, I'm responding accordingly. If you're going to say that unity is not possible based on Jasmine Crockett, I think you misguiding folk and misleading folks, because there are 3 races that were won in Texas by black candidates due to Latinos coming out and voting for them.
Okay. I brought up Jasmine Crockett because you brought up their turnout for Harris. So then I brought up, okay, well, you have a black woman who they did not turn out for. So they turn out depending on what is in their best interest. The people that you mentioned, I'm not sure about all of that, so I'll give you your word for that because I can't refute that. But are those people platforming and campaigning, riding on foundational black Americans getting reparations? Because just because you vote for a black politician and you don't even know who the other candidate, I don't even know who the other candidate was, does not mean that you support reparations. And you're trying to frame it as if them voting or them getting elected in a black or Hispanic district is proof that the Hispanics are allying themselves or align themselves politically with the best interests of the black community. That is not the case. All right. Whatever reason they voted might not be might be a completely different reason why a black person voted for them. All right. What were the promises made by these politicians to the Hispanic community in order to get them to turn out? Because based off of how they voted for Donald Trump in 2016, Donald Trump in 2020, and then Donald Trump in 2024, I find it very difficult to believe that they're going to turn out for what's in the best interest of the black community, which is something they don't do. They turn out for whatever is in the best interest of their community. Mm-hmm. They had protests in California when Californians were doing the task force for reparations. There was a bunch of Mexican immigrants protesting and being very vocal about how they disagreed with reparations in California. They've done that in Chicago when I went to City Hall, when me and a group of other black Americans went to City Hall talking to the mayor about reparations. Who came to protest against that? Not white folks, brown folks in a liberal city, in a Democrat city, came to protest against reparations. They do that in California, liberal city. They do that in Chicago, liberal city. They do that in New York. So when it comes to the best interest of black people, they have always shown that they're not going for that. And you might have a few that are cool, but as far as us extending an olive branch or leaving a door open for us to align ourselves with a community that historically goes against our interests is nonsensical.
Right. My response to you is this: if we're gonna have a topic, man, we're gonna have to be able to go back and forth a little bit longer than what we're doing. I'm trying to get to the point fast, and you going on the pro-black American.
We can set something up.
You're doing a pro-black American motivational speech thing. I'm a black American. I've been that way for a long time. I know our history. I don't really need to be educated and motivated in terms of being a black American man. Now, what you said was a bit disingenuous in terms of those candidates that I called out for you, because you support Donald Trump, and Donald Trump does not support.
Okay, see, that's how I know you're losing.
Right, but you hadn't told me that you don't. Right, I like to finish. I like to finish. Nor do I support it. Right, I don't like everything you say, but I don't like everything it is that you saying. But I'm gonna let you say it. And when I say something that you don't like, I think it's wild that you continue to cut me off again. You won't denounce Donald Trump. So I'm pretty sure, in my opinion of you, that you are a Trump supporter. And we know that Trump or anybody attached to the Trump administration does not support reparations for black people. So I oftentimes question if you genuinely want black folks to receive reparations, considering you support the man in the White House. Now, Tracy Gibson is the chair of the Harris County Democratic Party. She wouldn't really have a say-so in reparations in terms of what's going on in D.C. Amber Givens is the district attorney of Dallas County. She wouldn't really have a say-so in reparations. Quentin Wiltz is the mayor of Pearland, Texas. He wouldn't have a say-so in reparations. See, this is the disingenuous thing y'all do. You asking me if people who wouldn't have a say in reparations support reparations, whether they support it or not. They're not up in D.C. They're not a part of Congress. They're not a part of the Senate, and they're not the president. So I don't care what they think in terms of reparations. We should focus on the people who have to push reparations legislation through. You guys run around and do this democratic shield shit. Do you communicate with these people in your space and let them know that they're going to need 9 Republican votes in the Senate for reparations to ever be possible? Do you even know that that has to take place for reparations to be possible? My guess would be it's going to be damn near impossible to get 9 white Republicans in the Senate to sign off on reparations, considering that that's going to be political suicide for those people in the Senate. So the question then becomes, how are we going to get reparations as Black American people if we already down 9 in the Senate? You're not going to get it by trying to flush all of the progressive-minded congressmen and women out of office. You're not going to get it by trying to remove progressive senators out of office. You want to remove all of the progressive leadership in D.C. and do what? Go to the table and ask white Republicans for reparations? They're going to slam the goddamn door in your face. They're going to do the same thing they did on the UN vote. They're going to say, we don't care about reparations for Black American people. We don't even acknowledge it as being a crime against humanity because it was legal at the time. So my question is this to you. How do you see reparations being possible if FBA's mission is to hurt or remove all of the progressive leaders in D.C.? How you going to get that done with conservative leadership in D.C.?
We need to maybe schedule an actual debate because we don't really have the time for it. But that's not the subject. That's not the subject, Casso. Again, that's not the subject.
Again,
Now
you're not on subject. You're all over the place. Yeah, you're
The
all over the
subject,
place.
hold on. Now, I just let you go ahead. The subject is about the Black and Brown coalition. You lost the point. Then you made this ad hominem attack. Oh, you're a Trump shill and you're a Trump supporter. Then you go on to, well, how are we going to do that if the FBA is attacking progressives and all of that stuff? And if y'all mission is to attack now we're completely off track from the point.
No, you're not. You don't want to answer the question, do you?
No, we are. And you did that because you really conceded with the Black
you
and
all
Brown
over the
thing.
place.
And
You're
when
all
you
over the
brought up
place.
of me being a Trump supporter, which you know, and we've had several conversations, you know I'm not, but you brought that up so you can deter the conversation off of the brown people because you can't prove their allyship. So you're going to deter that off of the brown people, and then you're going to attack the movement for being too close to or supporting of Donald Trump or the GOP. And that shows that you really lost this argument. That's proving that you lost this argument.
No, it don't. You all over the place.
Yes, it does. Because you deliberately,
no,
and I got you back on track
no,
before. I got you back on track before. I got you back on track before, and then you lost, and then you went off track again.
I have no problem standing between the lines. Again,
No,
you are
because now we're talking about how many Senate seats and how many white Republicans and how many this and how many that and how y'all expect to get. That's not the conversation.
There you go, doing that thing.
That's not the that's not the conversation, no. That's not the conversation. That's not the conversation. The conversation is about Black and Brown and the NAACP. You changing the conversation because you can't stand there.
It's going on and on and on.
How about we do this? How about we do what?
How about we do this? Hold up now. Hold up now.
Afro. I told you when I was
give me a second. Yo, Afro. We having a conversation,
fam.
Listen, you know I'm not going, Brody. You know I'm not going for this steamrolling shit. You're gonna have to let me reply to you, my nigga. I'm not going for no read.
I'm gonna let you go. But I want you to also give me.
We're gonna have to keep it.
Message me and we'll have a better time. We'll schedule a better time where we can have this conversation.
Right, yeah. And the next
All right.
time you'll come to my space and we'll have this conversation, because this is the fourth time I've been on your panel and you refuse to come to my space because you like to operate in safe spaces. So I encourage you to come.
I
Yeah,
muted you one time. I
yeah,
got
this
rid
is
of
my
everybody
fourth
else on the
time on your
mind
panel.
you.
This is my
He
fourth
didn't want to
time on
come
your
up. I
panel.
got rid of everybody else on the panel
Hey, it
so he
won't
can come up. I
it'll
haven't
just
muted
be
this
you
guy
and
one
I.
time,
It'll
so it's
just
not
be
like
you and
I'm
I.
using my powers as the host or anything.
Hey,
But all right.
that's a beautiful thing. I've been here four
Mhm.
times. I'd like to see you in my space next time.
Okay. Did you want to rebuttal to what I said about you deterring the conversation?
I didn't deter the conversation. I responded in a proper manner. You kind of went all over the place again. You begin to do this thing that you always do, which is the Black American motivational speech and a deep dive into Black American history. I don't need to be critiqued on it, and I know our history thoroughly, probably a little bit more than what you know the history. Again, we need numbers in this country. If we're going to get anything obtained, if we're going to get anything passed in terms of legislation, we're not going to do it by reducing ourselves down to a super minority group. We are a minority group in this country. Our voter block is 50 million, 55 million people. Really, it's not even that, because we can't count children or folk who are not able to vote. So the question becomes, how are we going to get all of this substantial legislation passed if we're just a little bitty old group of 50 million in comparison to 63 million brown people in this country? And then we have 190 million white folk in this country. If we reduce ourselves down and separate, they're going to do the same thing and moving forward that they did to us in 1965, and that's use us as political leverage. We are in this country as Black people, and we're stuck in between a rainbow and a redneck. That's the liberals and that's the conservative people. And as long as we stay in the middle of American politics, they're going to continue to use us as leverage. They're going to put our face on this shit and they're going to benefit from it. Y'all love to go after Latino people in this country, but when you look at DEIA and affirmative action, these programs benefited white women and Asian Americans more than any immigrant coming in from Latin America. But y'all don't have these conversations because you don't like having conversations based in fact. You know it's easy to hate people who don't have real power and influence in this country. Why don't you call out the Asian Americans in America? They dilute us down in terms of the minority power that we should have. They directly exploit Black wealth in this country. I don't see any of you FBAs going live any day of the week and calling out Asian American communities. I hadn't seen you call for a boycott of Asian American communities. I have a case going on right now in South Carolina. 14-year-old Black American man, child, was unalived by by an Asian American guy, Rick Chow. I hadn't heard you FBAs mention that case that's going on in South Carolina. But you want to sit up and talk about Jamaicans and Haitians and Africans and Mexicans, people who don't really have no real power and influence in this country. If you say we are the cream of the crop as Black Americans, if we are the standard, then why the hell will we be preoccupied with people who don't have equal power to us in this country? We should focus on the immigrant groups that actually harm us. I'm talking about the Asian Americans who exploit wealth out of our community, take up all the damn STEM jobs in America. And I'm talking about the white European immigrants that come into this country and get prioritized over us in terms of everything. And oh, by the way, we have immigrants coming in from the Middle East as well who harm our community. But you won't call them out because you're hyper-focused on Caribbeans, Mexicans, and Africans, the people who actually are willing to ally up with us. You don't want to do anything with them. But you want to ignore the fact that we do have real immigrant groups that harm us, groups that y'all never speak on, Afro Elite. You never speak on those groups.
When I first started YouTube, it was in 2020. And then in 2021, there was a push for the Stop Asian Hate campaign. And I made a video. It's still up on YouTube. I made a video explaining all the racist history. I'm talking about from Akai Gurley with Peter Liang. I'm talking about from the racism that goes on in China today currently with them having monkeys depicted as Black people, blackface. I'm talking about I'm every bit of racism there, period. And I had a whole bunch of Asians sending death threats and all of that stuff. And that was fresh and new to YouTube at the time. It's still up there. I remember when Asians were pushing with the white man, they were pushing with, what's his name? I forget his name. Can't believe it. They were pushing against affirmative action. Okay. And I made my video about that. I made my video about affirmative action. Then a year later, I circled back to talk about affirmative action. Again, Bloom, Edward Bloom. Thank you guys, Edward Bloom. All right. Those videos got a lot of hate from Asian folk. So yeah, they're up there. You just got to pay attention. You just got to
Well,
pay attention.
I'll say this: if you
Hold on,
went,
yeah,
yeah,
no, hold on. You just
yeah,
got to pay attention because
okay.
anybody at all, period, that goes against the lineage is getting checked by me specifically. I'm gonna go after anybody and everybody, even my own lineage. When they off code and they doing something, I will go after them with just as much ferocity as I'm going after everybody else, just as intense as I'm going after everybody else. I hold nothing back when it comes to nobody. All right, you're deflecting
I'm not deflecting at all.
again, because talking about Asians being a bigger threat, whether that is true or not true, that does not make Hispanics our ally. It does not. It doesn't make Hispanics less hostile because Asians are hostile, okay? Because, and I know the situation that you're talking about, all right? I know the situation you're talking about. And yeah, that proves that Asians aren't on our side. How does that prove Hispanics being on our side when stuff like that happens in the Hispanic community too, okay? You forgetting about George Zimmerman?
Right.
You're forgetting about not Peter Lyon. You're forgetting about Philando Castile. You're forgetting about not Mike Brown. What is the name? Gardner, Eric Gardner. You're forgetting about those people who are unalived by Hispanics. Do those people not, now if they were Asian, you would bring them up, but you want to ally with Hispanics, so you're not bringing them up. You're forgetting about that one Hispanic woman, the cop. What's her name in the chat room? That cop who went on that calling black people the N-word and how she gonna arrest black people and all that just happened. Did you talk about that? Well, I
You're
don't talk about.
deflecting. Yeah,
I
you're
don't talk about
deflecting.
Ashley
Yeah, you're
Gomez. Thank you guys.
deflecting. You're
The Ashley
deflecting.
Gomez. So we gonna
You're
team up with the
deflecting
Ashley
again.
Gomez's, right?
You're
Is that what we're gonna
deflecting.
do?
You're
Because you can't
deflecting
you can't
again.
just
You're
talking about
deflecting.
Asians. Hold on, talking
You're
about
deflecting.
Asians does not prove that Hispanics are any closer to being our allies. It does not prove that.
Yeah, you're deflecting again. That,
I'm
like I
not
say,
deflecting. I'm
right,
circling the conversation back to what
right.
we need to be talking about.
Right
I
again.
debunked your point. Hold on. I debunked your point because you
Again,
said
can
you
we
don't
have a
go after
conversation
Asians, and I
without
brought
you?
up several
Right.
incidents where I
Hear me out. Hear me
called
out.
out
I
that
just like to.
Casso.
I like to
Hold
have a
on.
conversation. Hear me out.
Hold
Hear me out,
on.
man.
Hold on.
Hear me out.
Hold on,
Hear me out,
sir.
dog.
Hold on, brother. Hold on.
Hear me out, man. Just
Let
let the
me just finish. Let
conversation
me
be
wrap it up.
had.
I'm gonna wrap it up. Hold on, because
Go
then I
ahead,
really
bro.
do gotta go. Because almost 7 o'clock, right?
Go ahead, bro.
So you brought that up. We were talking about the NAACP and the black and brown thing. My argument, and I'm going to close with this. My argument is that they have shown that they are not in alignment with our best interests. Going to Mexico, you can see the anti-black racism in Mexico, the self-hate, the hatred of blackness in Mexico. You will have Mexicans come up here and say that they don't want their children or their parents don't want them to date a black person. You will have that. Oh, they don't want their baby to be dark skinned. What's that term they come up with? Mira la raza or something la raza or something like that, right?
This has nothing to do with the conversation, man.
They will confess a
Listen,
cultural.
Afro. Listen,
I'm
my
a
land.
land,
Listen. You're gonna have to. Hey,
I'm a
hey, listen,
land.
man.
They
Listen,
will
listen.
let me make my
All that
closing
dominating
argument.
shit,
Hold
bro.
on. Okay, let's not crash
Bro,
it.
I'm not here for this shit. We having a
Let's not
back and
crack because
forth.
I'm gonna let you.
Nah, you've been talking a whole fucking lot,
I'm
my
gonna
nigga. I'm
let
not
you
here for that.
go. I'm gonna let you go.
God, Casso,
All
hold
right.
No.
on.
I'm gonna let you.
I don't need
Okay,
you
if
saying
you,
that to me.
bro, come on.
Family, go ahead and land so I can respond to you. I'm not here for you to read me, bro.
Okay.
We this shit a back and forth, dog. I'm not here for this shit you doing, fam. Y'all do this shit every time. I come on your panel and you want to speak over and over and over and over. Every time I open my damn mouth, you want to reduce the
Because you're
statement
the one
down.
cutting me off.
Right. I'm not cutting you off, and I'm pretty sure somebody clipping this. And when you look at the playback, look at how much you're speaking in comparison to me. Now, when you come on my space, I'll put a timer on myself to make sure you got adequate time to reply to what it is that I'm saying. You're trying to do this shit where you think you steamrolling, but you're not, because you understand what I say make a lot of sense. Now, you talked about Asian American videos that you made 6 years ago. If you want to be a good free throw shooter, you don't shoot free throws one time and put the ball down. You have to continue to practice that. You have to practice what what you teach. So if you do stand against Asian Americans and the way they exploit our goddamn community, you sure don't speak about it enough. Now, in terms of me worrying about Ashley Gonzalez, I don't give a fuck about what she said. A racist Mexican in Texas, she's been fired. The job was done. I'm too preoccupied with dominant white society and the way dominant white society is destroying our goddamn communities. I'm not worried about.
All
I'm
right,
not,
that's enough. That's enough because you
no,
did
no,
cut
no.
me off.
So it's
You
enough
did
when I
cut me
begin to
off.
talk about white folk. Let me land my
The
plane,
date.
man.
Now the date. Hold on.
Like I like to
FBAs
land
don't
my
go
plane
after
after
Asians.
we be
We
One
support
minute,
suspended.
it.
I like to land my
Castro,
FBAs
one
don't
plane.
go after
minute.
Casa.
Right,
I'm
right.
not
Now, come on.
even
Now you
muting
doing too
you in
much.
your
I
Watch your
like to
passage.
plane.
land my plane. He got
FBAs don't
triggered
And
when
go
I
the
after
said white
passage.
Asians.
folk.
I proved
He
on
got triggered when
several
I said white
occasions
folk.
in recent dates
I'd like to
that
land my
that I went
plane.
after Asians and how
Yeah, I
hostile
like to
Asians
land my
are.
plane.
Now that doesn't count because that was too
I like to
long
land my
ago. All of
plane.
a sudden,
Yeah, I like to land
you
my
cut me
plane.
off. I didn't land my plane either. All right, you
I
cut
like
me off.
like both of us
Okay.
hovering then. I'm the guest. You should let me land my plane first. Again,
Well,
you
you
seem to get
can't, as a
triggered, right?
guest, you shouldn't be rude and overtalk
Right.
the host.
I'm not
All
being
right.
rude at all. I've
You
been
did
laid
because
back
you
and
cut me
relaxed.
off. All
Yeah, I've
right.
been laid back and relaxed. But it
Not
seemed like you
really.
get triggered when I talk
Not
about Donald
really.
Trump, and you
Not
really got
really.
triggered when I
You
just
can
mentioned
talk
white
about
folk.
Donald Trump all you
Right.
want
The
to.
way you
This
just went
conversation is
crazy
not
when I
about
said the
Donald
word
Trump. But
white.
go ahead. Watch him,
Right.
y'all. Watch him. Go ahead.
Right. The
Crash
way
out.
you went right. The way you went crazy when I just said white folk, and they are the number one threat to the black community in this country. Not Latino immigrants, not African immigrants, or not black immigrants from the goddamn Caribbeans. You're talking about medical apartheid in a hospital setting that's at the hands of white doctors and nurses. Our schools are being defunded by white politicians. We're being unalived by white cops in America. We're being overpenalized by white judges in America. We're being fed faulty and bad food by white farmers in America. You can get triggered all you want when I say the goddamn word white, but the truth is the truth. Latin American immigrants are not more of a threat to me than white folk in a dominant white system. So no, I'm not letting I'm not letting Mexicans off the hook. I'm not letting Latinos in LA off the hook. I'm worried about the one true threat to blackness, not only in America, but globally. And you guys can't see this shit because for some reason y'all think little bitty old immigrants coming into America more of a threat than the Klan or a cop or a doctor or a judge or a goddamn politician that's defunding your community. You shouldn't get so triggered when I say the word white people that make me feel like you were adopted by white folk or something like that.
Are you finished?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, you finished. Yo, does that prove that brown people are on our side? This is a case of what is called a straw man argument. Okay? Because he's trying to now reframe our argument to say Hispanic immigrants are the biggest threat to the black community. That's never been my argument. He knows that. We've had several conversations. He knows that's not my argument, but yet he's making a straw man because he lost the original argument. Now he's arguing against a point I never made, and he knows I don't make.
Respond though. Why do you keep trying to
Hold on.
minimize my
Okay.
statement?
Finish
Yeah, just
crashing out. Go
respond to me.
ahead.
Why
I
do you
thought you were done, Casso.
That's
I
what I'm
thought you
saying.
were done.
Why do you do this thing every time I
I
speak?
thought you were done.
Right?
I'm gonna let you finish. I thought you were
Right.
done.
You try and groom your little crowd up every time I speak and say, you see what I don't need you to critique my statement. I need you to respond
Well,
to my
now
statement.
I'm responding to
Yeah.
what you're saying.
Yeah.
I am. You can't police how I respond to what you say.
I'm not. I just
All
don't want
right.
you to keep trying to critique my statement to justify whatever
You
statement
are.
you're going to
All right.
make.
So stop doing it.
Yeah. Well, you stop critiquing my statement as well. I don't need you to do that.
I
Oh
should stop
Lord.
critiquing your statement. I should
Yeah.
Can
stop
I just
critiquing your
chime in,
statements.
guys?
Yeah.
Can
All
I
right.
just chime in? So this is how Afro ends his final statements. He analyzes the whole discussion. He asks you where you finished, Caso. So do you want to land now, or were you really finished?
Yes,
So
give me a second here. If you're gonna echo me properly, that's not what I'm saying. I'm not talking about how he's finishing his statement. Any statement that's made towards him, he try and minimize that statement by saying, "Oh, it's out of bounds. It doesn't qualify." Nothing that you're saying is qualifying. The only thing you doing is just going on a pro-Black American rant time and time again. I understand what it is to be Black American and powerful and exceptional. I understand those things. I don't need you to mention that to me time and time again, man. We're talking about Black and brown unity and why it's possible and why it isn't possible. You made a point that we are being attacked by Latino people. My response to that is I'm not preoccupied or worried about these incidents that are going on with Latino folk and Black folk because of what dominant white society is continuing to do to our community. So I'm right on par with what I'm saying. You don't like it, so you want to come off, you're not on mute, but you want to reintroduce yourself to the conversation and say, oh, that has nothing to do, has everything to do with what you said. Everything. I'm worried about white people in this country because they do the most harm to our community, and it's not even close.
Most Hispanics identify as white. Did you not know that?
No.
They do.
Asian
And
Americans
there's
identify
research
as
that
white.
proves that.
Yeah.
And case closed. There's research that
Mhm.
proves that. This is over with. Case closed.
What's the research?
Deflected to Asian.
What's the listen? Why are you ad-libbing him, trying to give him pass on the back? Let me have a conversation with the man.
Did you finish? That was
Where's
the
the number?
point. That's
What are
what
you
he
You
doing
asked
want me
right
to
now,
you.
send
though?
you the link? I think Pure Research did a thing
What's
on
the
that. So
percentage of what's the percentage?
off the top of my head, I know for a fact it's most. Do I know the actual percentage? Off the top of my head, I don't. I don't.
Right.
But
So if
most,
you don't know the actual percentage, how can you say most of them do?
because they said most. They said most, the majority. Do
Yeah,
I
I think
know the
that's.
percentage? But I know when they say most, that is over 50%. So I know the majority of them do. And
I'll
that
look it
is
up
not,
for you.
who in the chat room didn't know that? I want to know how many people didn't know that, because that's a fact that we've known for years. Who didn't know that? And Caso, I strongly believe you knew that too.
Okay, so I mean, I have a laptop in front of me. No, the
Okay.
majority of Latino Americans do not identify solely as white because the U.S. Census
Solely as
Bureau
white.
classified Hispanic Latino as an ethnicity rather than a race. Latinos identify across a wide spectrum of racial categories, and this is from Pew Research. I don't mind turning my camera on if you need to see the source, which is Pew Research. So that's a lie. It's just a bald-faced lie. And y'all do this thing where y'all lie in front of these folk because they want to hear the lie. Just be truthful about the thing, man. The majority of Latinos in this country do not classify themselves as white people. And it's absolutely bullshit that you said it. And you said Pew Research. I opened my laptop, went right to Pew Research, and it says the opposite of what you said. It's
Okay.
dangerous to lie in this way. I understand y'all want to motivate
Why
our people,
not?
Black
He's
Americans.
looking it
BX, I
up
like to
too.
finish. BX, I like to finish my
He's
statement without you
looking
doing
it
it.
up too.
I'm
BX,
looking it up
BX,
too. It's
BX.
okay. Let him
I
go
need
ahead
you
and
to
rant.
stop doing that, please.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I think it's dangerous to do that shit. That's dangerous rhetoric, man. You can
Okay.
fire up your base
How about
without
we do this
lying.
to
You can
close
fire
it
up
up?
your base without lying, man.
To close it up, you flip your camera, show me what you're seeing, and I'm gonna flip my camera and show you what I'm seeing. How about that? How about we do that? Because I got it up right now too. So you want to do that? We can do that.
Yeah, I don't have a problem doing that.
Okay. And then we'll land it there.
Measuring race and identity. Pew Research. Shortly. AI overview. The majority of them are not identifying as white folk.
Okay. Okay. Let me get my camera.
Again, this is from Pew Research.
Okay. All right. Let me get my camera up. Okay. Here we go. Let's see. I don't even know how to flip the camera. Hold on. Let me see something. Hold on. How do I flip? Oh, how do I flip the camera?
Don't worry, I don't know how to do it either.
Oh, is
But
it
I
like this?
believe
Okay,
Jason.
I got it.
Yeah,
Hold on. I got it. I got it. I got it. Let
put
me
it
just
more into
expand that. Let
view
me
and
just
make
expand
yourself
it.
big. Thank you.
Let me expand that a little bit. Where it says majority of Latinos say their race is white in two question race and ethnicity format. Okay. So there you see all Hispanics. White is right here.
Yeah.
All Hispanics. When it comes to all of them, they're not just talking about Mexicans, they're talking about Hispanics, US born, white. Now they can choose something else. They can choose some other race or black, but majority of them are choosing white. And even when we go to foreign born, they're still choosing white.
What is that? What are you
Okay,
looking
this
at?
is, hold on, let me go up to the website. Let me go up to the website so you can see this is Pew Research Center. Okay, this is the website that I got that from. All right, I actually went to the website. This website was from 2021. So there we got it. There we go.
Okay, and when I
Maybe that'll change your mind though. I think hopefully
I
maybe
mean,
that
what do you think? What do you want them to classify as black people? They're not
they
black
don't
people.
they
So what's
have
the
a
point?
choice. They have a choice
What's
to
the choice?
classify as something else though. They have a choice to classify as something else.
Like something
They
else, like
don't
what?
have to classify as white. And their historic organizations, LULAC and them, they argued and fought so they can be classified as white, because originally they weren't classified as white originally, and they made the argument and campaign to be classified as white. So
Yeah, I'm gonna
this
tell
is
you,
what they want to
I
do.
don't know what this study is that you're referring to, man. I mean,
Okay,
I can't
okay.
do
All
anything
right,
but
all
take.
right.
I
It's
mean,
all right.
I
It's
can.
okay.
I mean, what do you mean it's okay? I'm gonna take your word for it. I hadn't looked at the study.
Okay,
I don't know what the hell it pertains to. All I see is a graph. I can't help but to agree with you. If you found it, cool. What do you want me to say about that?
okay,
Now you can send me the link and let me look at it. I like to see the methodology behind it and how many people they surveyed. I love to see all
okay.
those things. I
Okay.
also like to see if the majority of the people they surveyed were white Cubans or white Argentinians. I highly doubt that the majority of that survey was specifically groups like Mexican American people. I highly doubt that.
Okay.
Again,
Now,
I can only take your word for it on the live. I hadn't read that.
okay, all right. But we can wrap it up here, though. We can wrap it up because I do gotta go. It's almost 7 o'clock. I gotta go. So,
Yeah, I like to see you on my live so you can't do this shit where you get motivated with your preaching and shit. And also, you can't do this thing where you try and steamroll the conversation. We'll do 2 minutes at a time on my live when you pop up, and we'll see how that go.
all right. Oh, okay, cool. All right. Y'all have a good day, everybody. Y'all make sure y'all go to For the Culture on YouTube. Y'all go to For the Culture on YouTube so y'all don't miss out on anything. Y'all listen to everything. I would bring people up. But I do gotta go. I really do gotta go.
I gotta ask the question. Afro, tomorrow
Okay.
is the first, correct?
Yes, tomorrow is the first.
All right, stay
Council,
up.
I do appreciate a little back and forth. I gotta say,
Man,
I appreciate you coming up.
I've been
So,
on
all
your
right.
live 4 times. I'd like for you to stop being scary and come on
Now
my
I've been
live, dog.
okay. Come on, man.
No,
I
no,
was
no,
trying to
no.
leave it
You
on
never
some
been on my live.
brotherly
Stop
type
lying.
shit. Come on. Okay, all right,
This
bro.
the fourth time
All
I've
right,
been on
man.
your shit, man.
All
This the
right,
fourth
and I've
time
been
I've
on
been up
yours
here, dog.
before. I've been on yours
No, you
before, and I
have
was
not.
muted, kicked off, and all that stuff.
Nah,
So
it
you
was
don't
you
do
and I.
that. All right, okay.
It was you
You
and
can't
me on
even
my
let
live.
me land
We
in a
drop
cool
him
way.
now.
Just
Now we could drop him. Oh my
no, oh my
God.
God. Okay, you know he lost. If he
That
felt like
was
he
a
won, he wouldn't have did that.
but that was a very good debate. I stayed
Hmm.
on my mute button, y'all. Gotta give me props. I mean, I didn't mute him, right? At the end, he started kind of going left, and I noticed how he changed the requirements for now. He needs to see if they're Argentinian. Now he needs to see if they're Mexican. Now he
Yeah.
needs to see. He kept moving the goalposts, but great job, Afro. I know you won that debate, and you have been on his live before because I remember getting upset that you took your tail over there to his room. So he
Yeah.
can't play that game with us, and they could catch the playback of this win by
Yeah.
Tuesday.
Uh,
You think?
yeah, pretty much. Yeah, about that time. Yeah.
Okay. Do you know what time? There are some people who ask me what time will the State of the Union Foundational Black Americans take place.
Mm, maybe around 3 o'clock. My time. Yeah, 3 o'clock. Yeah, 3 o'clock my time. So that's like 4 o'clock your time. Maybe we can do maybe a little bit earlier. Maybe even two actually. So that's 2 o'clock Central.
4 o'clock Central would be 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.